Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 126. Jack's chewing a cookie across the table from me, but he's here, and I'm here. How's the cookie? I already know your thoughts, but share with our listeners. Wasn't not great, right?
Good.
I mean, it's a sugar cookie. They're never going to be bad, but it's not the best.
Yeah,
for sure.
good.
So we're a bit late on this Saturday. Scheduling issues. That guy over there has a job, so he worked in the morning, and this guy over here had 2 basketball games to go coach in the city, so spread out from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, which wasn't ideal. So just getting a late start on this, so apologize if you're a regular listener that's used to it early evening or just after dinner. We're just down here, just after 6 o'clock now on Saturday. Anything to add? What's new with
Mother
you?
didn't let me get the Young Bucks.
Yes, you saw the Young Bucks figures.
The ones that are necessary to complete the set with Mr. Kenneth over here.
And that's what he's super upset about, that he wasn't allowed to buy stuff that everyone knows he wants for Christmas a week before Christmas.
Whoa. Let it be known that there is the intent to buy multiple, so I don't think it affects
Yes,
anything.
but you're robbing whoever may have gotten you that of you getting the first ones from them.
Yeah, but I want to get the first ones.
So don't be selfish.
No,
It
but
is the holiday
I want to
season.
get the first ones, though. I don't
Too bad.
think they don't get it.
Maybe you won't. Maybe you will. Maybe no one will get you them. Maybe they'll
And
get
then
sold out.
Boxing Day, I'm screwed.
Yep.
Because I'll be damned if I'm going to a mall on Boxing Day again.
Why? Did we do that last year?
No. 2019, Von Mills, Kyler Renshuttle, up there. Boxing Day. Never again.
Why? Because it was too busy? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
We didn't. No, just me and Mom went.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not dumb enough to be doing that nonsense.
No,
I was surprised.
we didn't even park in the mall parking lot. All that. I mean, I might, but I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm still surprised that they show up that early because, when ever have we gotten figures when the U.S. gets figures, or dare I say before?
I think it's going to start happening a bit more with EB Games getting way more into collectibles.
Yeah,
I feel like your chances are better.
These are definitely different because they're exclusive there. So I guess it's interesting. They had 5 of both bucks, so that's kind of cool.
So there's lots. Don't worry.
No, but I don't trust people.
So I know you cared a lot.
No one.
Your brother won both his games today. So happy for him.
Yeah.
First one by 5.
I
I got thrown off the bench and almost thrown out of the gym for honestly not doing much. And I'm not even saying. I literally said when your brother got called for a travel that was questionable, and there'd been a few people, kind of on both teams, if I'm being honest. And I said something like, Nate, that hasn't been called all year. I don't know why that's a travel. And they threw me off the bench.
What do you mean?
They made me go sit in the crowd.
Huh.
I wasn't standing up. I hadn't been yelling at them. I don't know what precipitated it, but
that's just you said to sit somewhere else.
yeah, I had to sit on the other side.
Oh, you just
as close to the court technically, but on the other
I
side.
guess you just can't really.
It was just weird. But
Yeah.
anyways, they won that game by 5, and then they crushed the second game. They won by 32, and your Uncle Phil and Hannah showed up. Hannah showed up.
I saw.
So that was cool. I wasn't expecting it. Your mom said she told me when we went to the mall in between games. I didn't hear her, I guess, because I was surprised. I just saw Phil sitting there.
Yeah, no, she sent me a picture of that. And I was like, cool, but I'm not gonna go just because Phil's there.
You might if you knew he was going to be there the whole time.
Yeah, but sports.
Yeah, right. Just watching sports.
If Phil's gonna do sports thing, and I'll just wait till you do not a sports thing, you know?
So we, what did we watch this week? Dynamite, obviously, always. I watched NXT. I watched Impact. You saw a couple things of Impact? Were you doing homework while I was?
I watched that.
I think
crappy Bully Ray thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. We'll commiserate on that when the time comes. I watched Deadline. You didn't.
No, I don't.
We started Ring of Honor Final Battle, but we did not.
What did we watch? We watched
couple matches.
What was the opener even? Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Well, I don't remember. So
Roosh and Not Sin Cara.
Oh right.
Versus the other two.
Right, and then
the women's title. That was it. I think
that's all we watched.
Yeah.
Right.
So cool.
So a bit behind on that. I'm going to talk about Deadline. I think after we didn't talk about it, but maybe after the news and rumors, I'll run through it.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was pretty good. But anyways, I say we get started because it's late and this might take a while.
Yes.
All right, so let's start out with taking a look at some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, so taking a look at ratings. I'll go slow so you can chew your cookie. One more bite, of the thumb of the mitten.
Why was that soft? It was this bit. Ew. Okay, but if it's soggy, so I'm just gonna break that off.
From what?
I don't know.
Interesting.
You got a Still got the toilet paper?
Yeah, I do.
Or
I actually
whatever.
have paper towel as well.
Okay, cool.
This is good podcasting rate. This is
Yeah.
award-winning stuff. This is content you're getting here. Share my paper towel with you. So
Alright.
ratings, as always. NXT's ratings this week, they averaged 666,000 viewers. Oh no, 666. That's something.
No wonder they suck.
Which is up 24.7%. Earned a 0.17 in the key demo, up 21.4%. So that's a good week for them, right? Up 20+% in both categories. Best audience total for the show since November 1st, and ratings up in every single demo. So a good week for ratings, because Dynamite this week averaged 950,000, which is up 13%, 13.1 to be specific, and earned a 0.33 in the key demo, which is up 13.8%. So just up against standard NBA competition, right? So that's a nice increase, and they were pushing that million number again. So good numbers for both shows this week. And let me throw in my first, because it's a ratings as well, because you said you don't have a ton of news, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this week's Raw tied its all-time record low on the USA Network with 1.47 million viewers. So that is not a lot. And did its third lowest 18 to 49 demo rating with 8.37. So the rating started out low, increased for hour 2, and then fell back again in hour 3. And like from just the reviews I listen to and stuff I see, it sounds like the honeymoon period's kind of over, and that it's back to being really kind of boring. Like there's a couple things, like if everything I hear is the bloodline stuff is still interesting, and then that's pretty much it.
It seems at least not as bad, but that's not a high bar.
No, it's not, and it's not enough for me to watch 3 hours of anything, because it's not that bad, right? Like imagine 3 hours every week of something.
There are
like,
only two things where I'll watch like 3 hours, which was Endgame and the Batman, and that I'm not watching those every week.
Tarantino films, that's about it. If any of his,
the Batman's like the best Batman, and Endgame's like a big. And again, I'm not watching those every week. I don't remember the last time I watched Endgame.
That's the kicker. Every week, like it never stops. There's no off season.
No, it's
madness.
Not even an off season.
It is madness. So, anyways, you go ahead. What do you have?
Biggest news of the week was, after losing the NXT Women's title, Roxanne Perez and Mandy Rose was released the next day.
I thought sometimes, when you go the biggest news and you're being sarcastic, and then it's some like tiny little thing. This time, that actually is.
I wish I had done that. I wish I could have done that.
That's even legit. Yeah.
Because I was surprised when she lost the title, but I was happy because like now Shayna Baszler's in no danger.
Right.
And Asuka, I guess.
Oh, that's true. That's good for us.
Yeah, I think
like both of them.
I think Baszler's still above her. I feel like I would have seen if she got toppled.
Right.
But yeah, so her reign's done, and then she got released the next day. Apparently, it was something due to like her
adult
outside
content on her.
What was it? Felt to be outside the parameters of her contract. That was the terminology here.
Yeah, and I heard it's her own website, and she just is doing things that they're not willing to have the WWE brand associated with, and from what accounts, also, like, again, I don't know anything, but that she doesn't really care because she's making so much money off of that, right? Without putting your body at risk and whatever. Make your name in WWE and then live off that if you can. I don't really see a problem.
Apparently,
with that.
They made like an abrupt decision to have her lose the title because Perez was
supposed to be the next whatever,
the New Year's Evil thing, or
right?
Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then nope.
No, so yeah, she's done, and I'm like, I mean, it's not really part of news, but just where do you think that puts the other two now? Because I don't know.
Because I mean, as much as they all suck, they're probably gonna suck less with, or suck more without Mandy. I mean,
they're just a tag team now, right?
As much as Mandy sucks, she's at least kind of sucked for a while, so she knows what she's doing, kind of.
And regardless,
that's not very nice.
She was perceived by them as a main eventer, right? And she's, or I guess, maybe not technically, but you know what I mean. Top of the women's card, we'll say.
Top of the card, yeah.
And so now she's gone, and they're just kind of, I don't know. I don't think they're very good, but maybe I'm wrong. They don't interest me, at least in the doing the characters and gimmick they have right now. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't mean they're useless, I guess, but I don't know.
They're pretty useless.
Anyways, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, I guess. What else do I have here? Despite facing new legal demands from a couple places, Vince McMahon, quote, intends to make a comeback to WWE.
Saw, yeah.
I don't remember where I got this from and how, obviously, grain of salt with all this. That's why we say news and rumors. Feels he retired after receiving bad advice from people close to him.
Probably good advice.
And they just received a demand letter from Rita Chatterton's lawyer early November, which is asking for almost $12 million in damages.
Yikes.
She's the first person, I think, that publicly accused McMahon of rape back in like the mid 80s at some
What?
point.
Really?
Yeah, so that's also in
Long
November.
time coming.
Yes, also in November, his attorney received an email from a lawyer from a former spa manager who's saying that she was assaulted. And this is a new report. Like the Chatterton one was everybody knew about, right?
Right.
This one is new. So I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like this guy's a well-known workaholic, right? And he's just bored and missing the daily grind of that job. He's just built different and he just wants to work 24/7, right? So being completely cut off overnight,
Shouldn't
I'm sure
have sold the
going,
XFL because then he could be
Right.
doing that.
get busy on that because I'm sure he's going nuts, but whatever. Too bad for you.
Yeah, I really hope that. I mean, I really hope he has no chance in hell, but like,
Right. As bad as
Keep
nice.
selling.
No chance. As bad as Raw and whatever might be right now, or as just okay, it won't be better if that guy
it won't
comes
be
back,
better.
right? There's no chance of that. It's not like he figured something out in the time he's been off, and
he's
it's
had
suddenly,
an epiphany.
you know what? I'm gonna listen to the fans and give them what they want.
Let's start doing wrestling.
They're not as stupid as I've said they are for the last whatever years.
I'm gonna push Shayna Baszler and make Pete Dunne good again.
That Jack is right. That Shayna Baszler is good. And what was he saying about Seth Rollins? Let's do that too. Nope, don't start.
Wait, Seth Rollins should be Roman Reigns, you say? What?
What else do you have for news?
Speaking of Roman Reigns,
Nice. Because I have 3 more.
Oh,
Pace yourself.
okay. So this is my only one.
Maybe 4 actually, because I don't count so good. Nope, 3.
Okay.
Can't confirm.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the last SmackDown 2022, it was confirmed Cena will be there. So now it's gonna be Cena and Owens versus Reigns and Zayn. So I mean,
they're at least buffering them with people I like.
Hopefully, there's it's at least I feel like there's some storyline furthering here because with Zayn and Owens.
Yeah, it's not a singles match, so that's not the worst. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, at least they're not just straight running back Reigns and Cena.
Right.
Because
that I
they
would have
already
no
did that
interest
last
in.
year, so I don't think we need to do that again.
So this, if it furthers a storyline and I get to see people
feel
I like,
that's
it's okay.
kind of the purpose there, and then
Yeah.
also kind of gives you the Cena's back kind of deal.
The Cena rub and crowd,
and he's
whatever,
wrestling,
ratings
so
boost.
that'll be what people want, and
Right.
stuff like that and whatnot. And
Not
stuff.
these people, but yes, some people.
I don't think I'd watch it even if it was not John Cena.
No. What do I have next? WWE sends Matt Riddle to rehab, apparently,
I saw.
for a second failed drug test. It's from bodyslam.net. I got this one from. He was written off last week's Raw. What was the write-off? What did he...
Oh, Sikoa attacked him
That makes
last
sense.
week after the tag title match.
So there you go. Apparently failing his second drug test since earlier this summer, when a proposed match against Seth Rollins for SummerSlam was moved to Clash at the Castle that first time, I guess.
Oh.
It's all coming together for you now.
Yeah, because remember I was annoyed that they did that.
That's right. I remember you being annoyed. The report.
Remember we thought there was gonna be some surprise, and that's what they were doing.
We were looking forward to
and
that
there was
match
nothing.
too. Yeah, and we're like,
yeah.
oh, that match will be good.
And then at Clash the Castle, Seth Rollins wore stupid pants I didn't like.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, because I don't think I actually watched half of Clash the Castle. I don't even know if I watched any of it.
I don't know if I did either.
I don't think
I
I
might
did.
have watched more than you.
I feel like I saw a bit of the main event.
Anyways, he was told a second failed test would result in a rehab or fired, quote unquote, situation similar to that of one Jeffrey Nero Hardy. So he might be gone for a couple months or 3 months or something. But anyways, gone.
Jeff Hardy's been gone for a while.
That is correct. He is still gone. Anything else? I have 2 more.
No, I have nothing.
Kylie Ray made her debut at a main event taping,
I'm not smart.
working under the name Brianna Ray.
Okay, I hate that name.
So this is clearly
I don't
they
like
think
her.
she's a star. Who did she lose to?
Dana Brooke.
Correct. Oh, you knew.
No, I didn't.
Really?
Well, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I actually knew it was her, but
Yeah, it's main event.
Yeah.
Right. And last one,
can't
of
do
now,
24/7 anymore.
apparently Sasha Banks has agreed to terms for multiple dates with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but re-signing with WWE, sorry, trying to put my coffee down, is apparently still a possibility.
Well, I mean, if the Good Brothers can do it,
I don't know if she needs to come back. I kind of like that she doesn't, but she's cool.
I'd like her to come back though. And I also saw that they don't view her as money level as Becky and Charlotte, which is interesting. Because I probably would, maybe a little under, but still. And I mean, at least Becky's up
do
there.
we still see a ton of money in Charlotte?
No.
I know we don't, but I just And I'm on record being like, I think she'll be the greatest female wrestler of all time by the time she's done, right? And now I'm kind of like, she's so the same all
Well,
the
it's
time.
like Randy Orton.
I was just
Yeah,
gonna
because
say
he
that.
is one of the best of all time, but he's so.
And face or heel, he's basically the same.
But he will be
Correct.
right, like.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I know, because I remember Charlotte was when I started watching Charlotte that was probably peak Charlotte, 2016, 17,
Right.
heel Charlotte.
Yeah, she was fantastic, and she's
with Sasha Banks, granted,
super talented. Like she has it all, but it's just like it's the same.
It's kind of plateaued
thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's like
Yes.
last thing I remember, like I know, she did the Ronda Rousey thing this year, which that feels like ages ago, by the way.
Yes.
Last thing I remember her doing was ripping off Lily.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
So,
but it didn't end it for that doll.
No.
But anyways, I guess we'll move on then and talk about quickly. I won't call it a turbo review because I did take notes sort of, but they're not extensive. But we'll take a look at what was that last Saturday's NXT Premium Live event offering their first ever Deadline. All right, so I don't know how much you'll have to contribute because you didn't watch, but you can ask questions or seek clarification on anything if you think it's interesting to the general.
Does New Day in fact rock?
Not to me in general, but
okay.
This match
that was my first question.
Was it did rock, actually, not to spoil anything, but so in general, what did you think of the sound of the format? I know you didn't watch it, but you know the rules. In theory, do you think it'd probably work or not work?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd still get rid of the time intervals, but
so it feels like it is a combination of Elimination Chamber and an Iron Man match.
Sounds right.
That's a pretty good comparison, right? So people are
still
coming out in 5 minutes. So I really thought it worked well. And I'm not.
Well, the last person only had 5 minutes, though, right?
Yes, but I mean that's just luck of the draw, right? So that adds a little bit of luck to it. And then there's some debate: are you better off to be in there early so you can accumulate pinfalls?
You're also then susceptible to falls,
or come in fresh to be able to sneak a whole bunch of pinfalls at the end, right?
Depends how many you can sneak, I guess, right?
So because everybody's down and hurt or whatever. So I don't know. I heard some people saying that it was too convoluted, the rules, and I didn't think they were.
I don't think it's too convoluted. Like I would still strip it down, but like I don't think it's that convoluted.
After watching both, like I'm totally fine with it. I don't mind it at all. And I mean, you can never underestimate how much a crowd wants to count down from 10, right? Which they got to.
Oh my god, the Dynamite thing with the Ocho.
Oh, the Ocho. They didn't do that, but
I know. Oh, we'll get to that. That was so funny.
So I don't know, the pinfalls, the penalty box stuff. Maybe I think they need to change when the penalty box time starts because I think it.
How did that operate?
I think it was starting like before they got to the penalty box, which was weird. It should have just been once the door closes.
Isn't that how that would be in theory?
I don't think that's what happened. Thinking back on it, I think it was like when their feet hit the floor or something. It started, and it was only 1:30, so that was fine. And then there was strategy and tactics come into play right at the end. Frantic pinfall attempts or running away as Waller did. I'll get to that. So I don't know, it just opens up lots of opportunities for things. I really liked it. I thought both matches were good. So I'll get a little more specific as I go over it. But I'm super, for a brand new match type, I thought it was really good. And maybe they'll iron out a few things. But nice. I didn't even catch that. But even if they keep it the same, I'm totally fine with it. I quite enjoyed it. But I also wanted to note before I got into it, the crowd was fantastic for this show. They really added something.
Don't they like pipe in?
I don't think it. This actually, it looked like people were engaged, right? Like normally when it's piped in, I notice it because people are sitting there and the crowd is going wild or almost.
I caught a bit of level up, and the only thing that annoyed me was the whole chase section because that has to be planned, right? Like,
oh yeah. Oh well, I think it started out that way, and now it's like people know they come to do that. I think so. I don't know. It's probably some plants. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. And there were segments in between matches, but I'm not really going to talk about any of them. I think there was some Diamond Mine stuff. There was some some other things, but I'm just going to talk about matches. So the opener was the Women's Iron Survivor match, and I thought personally that everybody pretty much killed it in this match. I thought it was really good, and because it was a week away, I have read some things and listened to a couple things as well, and I would say, like, based on the stuff I've seen, that this match is underrated. I really liked it. Like, I would recommend people watch it, you know what I mean? Because it's the first time ever for this match type, but I thought, like, Zoe Stark, I thought looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She hit her finisher on Roxanne fairly early, and it looked killer.
It was on at some point today, so I saw like a little bit of
Yeah.
her and Roxanne, but I didn't really watch that much.
And Kiana, I think it is, or I say Kiana because I know someone who insists that their name is Kiana. So I think it's Kiana in this case.
Kiana sounds wrong.
She's been kind of not impressive, like just kind of like developmental
The
person
gimmick doesn't help.
working short matches and the business, but she looked pretty impressive here. She got whipped into the barricade, but instead she like jumped up onto it and did a moonsault off of it, which was cool. She also did like a really nice, I thought pretty much perfect top rope Spanish fly, which I was not expecting either. And obviously Perez and Jade like brought their feud into this as well, but Perez ended up winning, obviously, which made sense. Because she was one of the, how many baby faces were in there? Just her?
Well, depends what you classify Indy Hartwell.
Yeah, true. And Indy as like the power person looked okay too in this. I didn't really mention her in my notes, but it was a really fast-paced, exciting opener. I thought, like, I really enjoyed it. So it was a good start to the show. Then things slowed down a little bit because we get Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Oh, and by the way, we both picked Roxanne to win, obviously, if we're looking at our scoreboard.
Did I?
You did.
Nice.
I already looked at this. So Isla Dawn, Alba Fire. So obviously I knew it was something because I made the note in the moment, is that they went out of their way to point out that the referee in this match was the same one that got misted by Isla Dawn. I think it was the week before. And my notes say this is an odd thing to point out. And then, of course, it does come back into play. Couple things. Fire hit a nice gory bomb on the floor.
Firebomb.
Right. And then a senton. What do we call that? A fireton.
Well, that could be a firebomb too, because it's like
true.
So
in the ring, she hits the senton, but the ref, I think in the replay, it showed that Dawn like touched him on the leg, and then he started like dripping liquid and whatever goo out of his mouth. So, as you know, a bridge too far for me because this is now official.
I remember the last time they did Black Goo was
right.
Fiend Orton.
It wasn't as bad as that.
Fiend Orton Bliss.
But it's a little too far, and I kind of like Dawn, right? So it's like, okay, now she actually has powers, which spitting mist in someone's face, you can do that, right? Actually,
Malachi Black does that all the time. I don't
touching them and having them ooze out of the mouth is a bit too far for me. Yeah. But anyways, so a second ref comes down. He takes a minute to check on the first ref, and Isla Dawn runs Fire into the exposed turnbuckle. I think it was the middle turnbuckle, and then hits her finisher. What is that called? Curtain call? The old curtain call?
Wait, like
I explained it to you before.
Like
I can't demonstrate it.
Oh, like with the elbow?
Yes. I think
No.
that's what I've seen it referred to. No?
I don't think so.
Okay, anyways.
I think curtain call is like
she does the
inverted
thing
suplex.
that she pins people with effectively in just under 10 minutes. So the match was fine, like maybe almost good, but nothing really special happened. It came after a bit of a sprint in the women's Iron Survivor. So I don't think it was bad, but it didn't need to be on a pay-per-view for me. And obviously Dawn winning makes sense because I picked her to win. And it's her first major match, right? And you did not pick
I
her.
should have known she was going to use goo on the referee. That's on me.
And Fire's like treatment by NXT teams, it's been like questionable the whole time, right? They just won't pull the trigger on her. They'll leave her around the top, but just kind of you'll never
one
win.
Of those people.
So I don't know if she's gone or if they're just going to leave her in doing that. But anyways, then we get New Day versus Pretty Deadly. And honestly, man, this was an awesome match. Like classic style tag team, really good storytelling and really good heel work by Pretty Deadly. So just like, and I'm kind of tired of New Day, if I'm being honest. I don't know how you feel about New Day at this point.
It's kind of going to say, like, they still put on good matches, so I'd like them from that perspective.
But it's the same thing over.
It's not like Usos where they really freshen themselves up.
Right.
And honestly, I don't think New Day have been super interesting to me since
I agree.
that period.
And
of
I miss
2017.
Big E too, obviously.
Also, yeah, Biggie's cool.
But this match was basically like the story of Pretty Deadly's not as good in the ring as these guys are. So they take every shortcut and they're really clever about it and they cheat and they do all kinds of stuff, right? Just to sort of barely escape. I think you said you saw it and I told you about it. The 4-way Eddie Guerrero like spot with the
I kind of saw, yeah,
the belt.
That's one of those clips they posted.
Right, so the belt gets introduced and everybody tosses it to somebody else and falls down for when the referee will get up. So by the time the ref gets up, all four of them, they're down. Honestly, like comedy in wrestling that I liked, right? It was clever. Right. It actually made sense and it was kind of funny too. And then shortly after that, Prince punched Kofi out of the ring, and Wilson hit Woods with a title belt shot while the ref still wasn't looking. So that led to a near fall there. And then Kofi stopped a double team move and ended up hitting Trouble in Paradise to Wilson out on the floor. Woods sent Prince into the turnbuckle. Kofi jumped off the top with the midnight hour double foot stomp, while Woods was holding on to Prince to stop him from breaking the pin. So Woods covers Prince, and New Day actually win the NXT Tag Team Championships after a 14-minute match. It felt like, I told you this, a really strong main roster pay-per-view match. You know, when we see a match, like, what's the last one we really liked? Reigns Rollins?
No,
Who
it was
was
those
it?
Street Profits, because it was Money in the Bank. That was more recent than Reigns Rollins.
But we loved Reigns Rollins, right?
Oh, I love Reigns
So just
Rollins.
like, because I know, like, I hate to use this term because it bugs me, but work rate's not going to be like off the charts. But if you're telling a good story, right?
I feel like, it's so weird you get like, all technical with the terms. I know what you're saying.
I know, I feel like I make myself cringe.
I feel like it sounds like, because I don't know.
That's why I always use
stupid.
they work a good pace, because I don't like to say work rate. Bugs me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
But anyways,
exactly, right? Like,
but like just pretty deadly. And if I'm Triple H and I'm watching this, I'm like, these guys are ready, right? Yes, they're not Bryan Danielson in the ring, but they put on really entertaining matches. Like, and I'm not trying to say they're bad. They're good, right? But they're just the characters they're playing and the way it translates during matches is really awesome. And New Day being over baby faces, right, were a really good opponent. So I thought this was awesome. Men's Iron Survivor Challenge, also probably liked it better than the women's. I thought excellent match, and just like further evidence that this match type is a winner, I think. They found a way to have fun multi-person matches with like staggered entrances, right? And you get a time limit. I know exactly how long the match is going to be, which for some reason I like more than I should, right? I know this is 25 minutes. I just like that for some reason. So Axiom and McDonough started out, and they get things going right away as JD McDonough is targeting Axiom's leg, and just that's what he does, right? And I love that style. He just picks a limb or two and works it relentlessly. Then we get a huge clothesline from him in a sit-out powerbomb to Axiom for a near fall. Waller, again being smart, runs in immediately, hits his rolling cutter to stunner to Axiom and McDonough at the same time, and then pins each of them. So he picks up 2 falls like super sneaky, basically right away when he gets in. We have Axiom and McDonough brawling in the penalty box at one point. Axiom does like a moonsault off the top of the penalty box onto, I think, 2 or 3 people.
Did he do it better than Vega did?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Axiom hit a destroyer to Waller for a pinfall, and then followed by his golden ratio for another pinfall after that. So he picks up 2 as well. Anyways, long story short, the finish comes. Hayes hits his finishing leg drop to Axiom, but Waller pulls Hayes out of the ring and steals the pinfall, and that puts him up 1. So Axiom's obviously down from this, right? But he has to go to the penalty box, so you can't pin him. So Hayes, everybody else, I think, is out of the ring. So Hayes can really only chase Waller around and try and get him, right? And of course, Waller just runs away for whatever it was, 30, 40 seconds, which is perfect for the Weasel heel, right? Literally running for his life to win a match. So I don't know. I thought
they're both Weasel heels.
They are. I didn't really want Waller to win, but I think they're holding off on Carmelo to get a shot at a
right. Maybe because I saw
in a bigger moment. Yeah,
Vengeance Day is a PLE, so maybe then. I
yeah.
guess.
So really,
which is like February something probably, because that's like their take on a Valentine's Day pun thing.
That's right. So nonstop action. I thought 5 really talented performers, and I liked the ending. I don't really know what other people thought of it. I can't remember, but and to me, a surprise winner. So I thought all 5 looked really good, and this was way more entertaining than main event for me. Like this, I was like, oh yeah, there's another match after this, right? Which was Apollo Crews and Braun Breaker. So the build for this has been a bit unorthodox, right? There's been the scenes in the diner and the scenes out with them out fishing and things that I don't think they've been amazing, but I liked the idea that they were trying to do something different. Anyways, This was like, we're both super athletic and strong and fast, and you do it and then I do it, and I'll get a bunch of offense and you hit your signatures and I kick out. Then I'm going to hit your signatures on you and you're going to hit mine on me, etc., etc., etc. There's some good looking stuff here. And then, I don't know, I'm going to go skip down to the finish. Crews hits Braun's Gorilla Press Slam for 2 as they do sort of switch moves. Leaping kick, pump kick by Crews. Braun flips out of a lift, lands on his feet, and then hits a spear kind of out of nowhere and pins Apollo Crews. Ends up with Waller coming out, hits his rolling cutter on
Stunner.
Didn't you? Why is it a stunner?
Because he does a stunner like, Austin.
Oh, all right. And stands over Breaker holding the title. So a good match, not at the level for me of either of the Iron Survivor challenges or the tag match. And that's not obviously what you want in your main event, right? But I did like the story that, hey, these guys are really similar, so it's going to be evenly matched. But it just the men's Iron Survivor was just super entertaining, and this was just good. You know what I mean? But overall,
Yeah.
a strong pay-per-view. I'm not saying it was takeover quality, but the whole 5 matches, 2.5 hours, 3 of them are awesome. Like, that's pretty good, right?
Mhm.
And even the main event wasn't bad. So a really good pay-per-view, actually. I would say, like, maybe even an A-, just because it was less than 2.5 hours, I think. So really good show. Check out a couple of those matches if you haven't. All right, I'm done that. So let's get back into our regularly scheduled programming, which is you talking more and me talking less, and that is about this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, your turn. Tell me about Winter is Coming. That was this week, right?
I didn't forget that that's what it was called.
That's why I reminded you. I could tell. I could sense it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to eat cookie while you talk now. See how you like it.
I wasn't eating cookie, though.
Well, kind of. But I'm going to be good about it. I'm going to go behind the mic. So you go ahead and talk, and I'll chip in. I'll be back.
Chip into the conversation or the cookie?
Already eating the cookie. Go, talk.
Okay. The opener was the 4th match in the trios best of 7 series, so Elite and Death Triangle again. Death Triangle are up 2-1 now because the Elite won the last
2-1 going into this
2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Oh yeah, 2-1 going in, I guess. Then they won the first 2, and then Elite won the one a couple weeks ago because last week was a gap week, which is stupid. Because why ever take a break from this ever?
They might need to recover,
Ever? No, I don't get why you'd ever do that. Though.
Yeah, true.
Like, just don't. Just keep.
Give
going.
us one every week, all the time.
I don't even know why you would stop ever. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Some of the notables there. We started with like a back and forth between Penta and Nick Jackson. Also, Omega's wearing different tights again that he wore like a while ago, and so now he's wore all 3 pants that are from the 2 different Supreme figures he's gotten. So that's kind of funny.
Subliminal advertising.
Yes, exactly. Except it's better than when WWE does it because they just put a giant red car for Braun Strowman to flip or whatever.
That's
or
right.
Smash apart or like a giant ATV or whatever that looks like a toy come to life. So you gotta love when they do that, Just it's so great.
Focus, man.
Backbreaker to Pac from Omega, and he holds him over his knee. And then so Nick kind of comes in with like a springboard drop kick.
Yep.
So that's cool.
It was cool.
There's stereo slingshot punches the outside by Matt Omega, and then Nick does the escalator into like the tornado Forceberry flop, whatever it is, thing to Pac.
You enjoy that, yes.
Spaceman Plancha or whatever.
Yep, it's good.
So Nick looks like he hurt his foot or something. He's getting taken to the back after the commercial break or before a commercial break. So then he's out for a bit. Phoenix goes for a rolling cutter. Matt catches him smooth in a locomotion. Northern Light suplexes. Fireman's carry rolling senton followed by the moonsault by Omega for 2. Package pile driver on the apron by Penta to Matt to kind of take away the tag option.
Looked pretty good.
Lucha Bros hit a series of moves to Omega, only getting 2. So Nick comes back out as Pac misses a black arrow. Omega makes a hot tag out to Nick. Then we get a hot tag flurry sands kicks, which is stupid. The finish comes when Nick goes for a super kick. Phoenix catches him. And he's holding his foot, and then the ref is checking out Pac, so Penta hits his ankle with the hammer, which is kind of cool. And then Phoenix put Nick in like some sort of like submission, and Death Triangle pick up the win 3-1.
Yeah.
And then after the match, Omega was cutting promo saying, he has a message for them, and the 3-1 deficit is rough in any sport. They keep using the hammer, so he proposed they make it legal, basically. So next week he's saying make it a no DQ match.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Making it different again, right? This is the Nick gets injured match. Now we're going to get they already have now a plan for all 3, right? Should we need them, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Ending in the what one?
Oh, yeah, Escalera de la Muerte.
Right.
Which was a reference to All Out 2019.
I got to tell you, I bought Nick's injury up until...
I did, too. Once they started targeting it.
Right, and then that's when he tried to hit a super kick, too, with the injured foot, right? So, so that kind of, I wasn't sure how I felt, right? Because I was a little distracted going like, oh, if he's actually hurt, what does that mean for the next 2 matches? But anyways, obviously, and then it recovered, and this match was pretty awesome still, right?
An interim teammate.
Like it's going to be. So his ankle, right, ended up being the story of this match, so that makes it different from the others. They keep finding a way.
Right, yes.
And they're always going to,
Yes.
and they're even making the next 3 already, setting them up as
What was
certain,
the next one's on the queue? Then what's match?
Wasn't there one in
6?
the middle? I thought they said that. I thought they listed 3 things. No,
I don't remember hearing. I remember the last one is Escalera de la Muerte,
Yeah,
but I don't
remember. I thought they said something, but maybe not.
I feel like they would. I don't know. This is Steel Cage.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I like that they used the hammer again, and now that's setting up a no DQ match. So another super entertaining. Like, what can you say? Like, they're not going to have a bad match. This was a good match. What I like as an opener, like fast-paced craziness, didn't feel super long to me, but awesome match.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Again, it was different from the other ones. It would definitely seem as if that was a worked injury, especially now with how much it factored into the finish. But then it resulted in not doing the cool kick flurry, so that's not okay. Might have been my least favorite so far, but not by super large margin, just because like they've all been really good. And again, making it unique from the other ones we've had is I appreciate them doing that. Like each one has stood out, so that's really good.
Agree.
It was weird though. I thought the Elite worked kind of more heel in the beginning, but then it kind of switched when Nick was gone. So I thought that was kind of bizarre.
Yeah, because it's hard to be heel when you're now down like you're 2 on 3, right?
So it's kind of odd that they started like that. But then it kind of switched because like also you could see Death Triangle. They took like a couple of cheap shots, like when Matt would like hit the ropes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing that, which is a classic heel move, or like cutting the ring Texas. What? Why? I'm just what?
For those of you not, but I just pulled a Millennium Falcon out of my pocket in the middle of them talking, and he's confused.
Oh, that's from like the washroom or whatever.
I was looking for one of Nate's.
Yeah, it's
looking for a mouse to use,
like with the little figurines.
Yeah, and I just thought it looks cool, so I'm gonna put it on my shelf. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna disagree, but like
distracting.
My Falcon's better, so suck it.
Yeah, sure.
So the match next week should be pretty nuts with the no DQ rules again, different.
Yeah, that should be fun.
So I didn't mention it much either, but I really liked the finish, kind of playing with the injury there. I thought that was actually kind of really cool, and it also kind of factors in the hammer again, which is kind of funny. So it was a good opener. It did feel kind of short though, and so we learned I think it was during like the main event or something about the Escalera de la Muerte. So I think that'll be really cool. Kind of reference to like I think it was the second match between Lucha Bros and the Bucks for the AAA titles.
Yes.
In AEW, it was like second alone. They called it that. It was like the ladder match. Remember when they did the Destroyer off the ladder through the table?
Yes, that was ridiculous.
I remember. That. So that it was that match. So I guess it's now. I don't even know if I've ever seen a trios ladder match. Like
Me
you know
either.
what I mean? I don't remember seeing that because like I know like you've had like
I definitely look forward to it.
a 3-way one like TLC, obviously the first ones, or like a triangle ladder match, which is the same number of people. And it's also teams, but it's also like 3 teams. So like different. You know,
for sure.
So next we get an MJF interview. He applauds Ricky for his first great promo, and we all saw the potential. And it was a star-making performance, which is cute because the first time MJF was on AEW, he was already a star. And then he just kept hitting home runs, and he asks how many Starks missed before hitting that homer. He says he's the most talked about name at 26, and he's a star maker. He says you're welcome to Ricky for the rub, and he mocks Starks for talking about his upbringing, and it means nothing. And the only thing that matters is being AEW World Champion, and the fans relate to Starks because their lives suck, and they all whine and complain because they all suck. He says Starks was right that he has had it easy since birth, and he was just born better than everyone else. How Starks said he was going to lift the pressure, and MJ says he's already the guy, and everyone wants to see him fall, so he has no one to let down. And he does not envy Starks because everyone is rooting for him, and everyone's behind him. And he asks if Starks can do it, or will he let everyone down? We'll find out what happens to the Pebble under pressure. Will he become the diamond everyone thinks he is, or will he simply turn to dust?
Yeah,
I like that line.
Yeah, it was a good promo. What else are you going to say about MJF? Right? I like that he's taking credit for Stark's success basically by, magnifying
the
him.
Rub.
Making him important. And I also like that he's unapologetic about his upbringing and all his success, right? Like kind of, yeah, I was wealthy and raised with everything, and I'm better than you. And I'm better than
of
you,
shying
right?
away from it.
Right. So I like that, and I feel like he's playing it like Starks promo struck a nerve with him, right? And I think that's a good thing for Starks
Yes.
as well. And again, I said it last week. I'm glad that they saved this for a week later and let Starks have the last word last week, right? That makes sense to me.
MJF could easily uncork this last
Right.
week.
So I think that was well done, and it seems like, that Starks has gotten to him a little bit. I think that came through, and that's good. So really good delivery as always. Another strong heel promo. I thought it was like he's consistently probably the best at this, right? So
yes.
Yeah, another good one.
Yeah, another great one from MJF. It was kind of shorter, I feel like, for him, but still decent size.
Yeah.
For being a short one.
Yep.
I like the whole notion that, like, talking about his upbringing, just not like fully leaning into that, and I really like that. I like how he kind of put over Starks having a good promo, but then kind of like still attributing it to himself, so kind of keeping it in character really well.
Right.
And going back to the Pebble joke is funny. I like that. And it worked itself nice into that mic drop, the last line. Also reminds me of when Stokely Hathaway or Bivens used to say "Diamond in the Rust" because that was sick.
Any excuse to mention
what happened?
Tyler Rust,
man, he was sick. Like,
was it Taylor Rust?
Taylor Rust is sweet. Tyler Rust in NXT. Taylor Rust.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And Strong. Diamond Mine ain't been the same since the good old days. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Back when they would beat
OG
Bobby.
Diamond Mine.
Back when they would beat Bobby Fish with a roundhouse. You
Right.
know. Yeah, and yes. Surprised Triple H hasn't brought him back.
Right.
It would be way better than using Cross, and I'm pretty sure I'm not joking.
I was right. I was right. So no DQ.
Mm-hmm.
Falls count anywhere.
Big difference.
In Colorado.
Big difference, but yes, okay, yeah. And
and
then
then
Escalera de la
yeah.
Muerte. Oh, cool, sweet.
It's good to be right sometimes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So anyways, this was great. And Taylor Rust. Yeah.
Yep. Sign him.
Oh, that's right. They also had Hachiman or whatever. Because I was trying to
Yeah.
So I was trying to remember. There was 4 people in the original one. The Creeds weren't there. And so it was Hathaway, Strong, Rust, and Hachiman or Hideki Suzuki or whatever.
Yep.
Anyways, next we hear from the Acclaimed. We don't. Well, we kind of do. They're making their entrance and Caster's dropping until they jump from them behind by.
That's exciting stuff.
Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Jeff Jarrett, and the other big guy.
Jeff Jarrett on my TV.
Oh, yeah.
And not only is Jeff Jarrett on my TV, he's cutting short one of my favorite things, which is a caster rap, right? So but that's not the type of heel heat they want. I know that's like ha.
No, that genuinely makes me angry and hurts my feelings.
Want to see him.
That
it's
hurts
not
my
helping
feelings.
Anyone. But anyways,
because casters, you gotta let him do his thing.
And he rapped about Brittany Griner. I don't know if you know her, a women's basketball player who was imprisoned in Russia somewhere, and they traded her for a criminal in the States. Elon Musk reference, Luka Doncic reference, and then a sneak attack.
Didn't let him finish.
No.
Lethal threw Bones over the timekeeper's table. Caster tried fighting back in the ring, gets shut down by Lethal. Jarrett keeps toying around the guitar like a big gritting idiot. Like, he's just going like with the guitar.
The best.
It was just, I'm like, okay, I get it. Can you even play the guitar? No.
I don't get it, man.
And he cracks over Caster's head. It didn't even smoke that much.
No.
So, big waste of time. Jarrett says, yo, asks if they have their attention now, Batista line. He says, why don't you scissor this slapnut?
Yep. Told you, Slapnut's his thing. He thinks is like hilarious.
I'm not going to lie, I do get a little bit of a kick out of saying it, but not when Jeff Jarrett says it. And also, that sounds like a Matt Taven line.
Yeah, I don't, like, Sanjay Dutt can talk. Lethal can talk. Why do we need Jeff Jarrett? Why? And obviously, this is just a placeholder heel challenger, right? And nothing else.
How is it that FTR is the stepping stone before them?
Right.
Like, that's what gets to me is, like, in what universe do FTR get a tag title shot, lose it, then they're serving up the champs to Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Like, if Jarrett's going to be involved at all, it should be, like, the other way around. Like, this should be, like, a placeholder before FTR. FTR should be the end goal here. Jarrett and Lethal are, like, hardly a team. It's such a waste of time.
And I don't even have a problem with Lethal and Dutt and whatever. Like, that group, fine, whatever. But you don't need Jarrett, and I don't
hate that group either, but Jarrett's what kind of put the nail in the coffin.
And they're not legitimate, like, title threats, but they fill a role, right? I think. But yeah,
honestly, I'd be fine with just Lethal. I don't want anything else.
So we don't want Jeff Jarrett anymore. Bottom line.
No, this was lame. It was surprisingly short. I expected a really droning Jarrett promo, but I still didn't care.
Yeah.
And, like, he looked like an idiot waving around that guitar, just doing that stupid grin constantly. It's just gross seeing him hold the title in any capacity because you bet your ass they raised him after.
Yes.
And I don't get how
he
this is
did.
a tag title feud, all while meanwhile FTR are probably feuding with the Guns, which, yeah, they are.
They are.
Something ain't right here. And did I mention it's going to be Jeff Jarrett in a title match in 2022, bordering on 2023?
Yep.
Like, that's absurd.
It is.
And
It really
I knew
is.
something was up. I guess that just had on. I guess that's it. You know, that minute detail. And Caster didn't even finish the rap, so this was a complete waste of time. And I seriously don't care for this group, especially with Jerry offers nothing. Like, this group was already like Lethal's solid. Like, he was serving a purpose, like we
he's
talked
good.
about. But like, it's just not a great group. Like, they always tout Sting as being one of a kind, but to me, he's a one of a kind waste of space. Dutt's a solid mouthpiece at best, but he's at his worst, he's too much, and he can't really wrestle, so he doesn't serve much of a purpose. And Lethal's the only one who really serves a purpose for me, but I like him less when he's next to Jarrett, and like he could be equally as fine on his own. So the whole group is just like, it doesn't serve much of a purpose for me. And so it kind of
Yet
sucks.
they get a ton of time on
I know.
TV.
Why do they get so much time?
I don't know.
I don't understand. When we're like, there's so many people who should deserve
Right.
more of a spotlight, and you're wasting time on this. And again, FTR, I think they should, I know it would be a fourth match, but I think they should have the Ring of Honor titles back because I want them with the 4 belts. That would be awesome.
It would
And then
be.
they can take the AEW one so Jarrett can bugger off and do whatever he does backstage because no thank you. This is not it.
Agree.
All right. Enough on Jarrett.
Yes, more than enough.
Next we got a Jazz interview. So Jericho said that the Giant swing should be banned because he tapped out to that, which I thought was interesting.
he did.
I didn't know that, but that was interesting. And Claudia also wore blue tights, so finally a brain gear change for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just he would wear a slightly new attire and just kind of spam that for a while, and then he wore a second new one and then spam that for a while. So nice. Jericho said he's going to beat some jobber. Apparently, also took a shot at Starks.
Nice.
Shot
At Starks.
not a shark.
No. Well, I mean, I don't have overwhelming evidence that didn't take place.
Right, that's true.
Probably not, but
that's true.
You never know.
Jericho told Garcia he's better than Yuta and should never lost the pure title. I think he should have lost it. And he told Garcia to follow the guidance of Sammy Guevara, so basically kind of like putting him under the tutelage of Guevara, which is kind of amusing. And he said he's facing Moxley and Rampage this Friday, and Ty is facing Soho tonight. Hager yelled about his hat.
Alpha, all of that, my only note. So it's not over? No! And
that was my main takeaway.
And then this segment was nothing special. That was my entire, so I just so what? You're still involved. No, this was the end. We talked about this. This is supposed to be over, but it's not. So that's all. That's all I noticed.
That was my main takeaway. So I was like, it's fine, Jericho solid. I thought, but another thing I kind of took away was throwing Garcia to Guevara seems like kind of the restarting that angle they did with him around all where he's kind of like being disillusioned.
Right.
Either they're restarting or they're kind of picking it back up, which to me, because you can kind of breadcrumb things, but to me it felt like that was kind of the end of that story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because he was so back with when he turned on Daniels and he was full Jazz again. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it feels like that kind of ended. But now it feels like they might be picking that back up, which would be kind of weird because if they kind of communicate that he was still kind of torn when he joined back, then maybe this would make sense.
Yeah.
But it feels like they kind of dropped it flat, and then now they're that's what makes it kind of weird for me,
again,
right?
Yeah.
It's not kind of leaving it be I don't know. It just felt like they kind of full dropped, and then now it's kind of so I don't know. It's kind of weird for me, bit of a disconnect there.
Yes.
But Guevara spoke
Well
solid
said.
as well. But it annoyed me because he literally said himself that this is over.
Correct.
But then he was like, it's not for him in box. And he's like, it's over, but it's not over.
Oh, it's over.
It's
I know. Same thing.
It's not over more ways than one because it's not over because it's still going. It's not over because I'm not interested.
Yes.
So.
Double entendre. It's
exactly.
Shakespeare.
Boom.
It's freaking Shakespeare, people.
I'm freaking Shakespeare. All right. Next we get Brian. I saw his action figure yesterday. Cage versus Jungle Boy. I did not see his action figure yesterday. Jack Perry.
Jungle Boy Jack.
And they should call him. We're saying they should just his name's too long, right? So they should just call him Boy Perry.
Perry Boy. Jungle Boy.
I'm gonna start calling him Boy Perry. It reminds me of that one episode of Goldberg's when Barry does the Boy George thing, and he's like Boy Barry or whatever.
Yeah.
And Boy Perry. Ha.
More Goldberg
Because
talk.
it sounds the same. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it.
So notables, there's the outside in superplex by Cage, which is cool because Jungle Boy's a small guy, so it was pretty comedically humorous.
Cage is pretty strong.
Yep, and he had his 6-man tag belt. So, and honestly, now that the trios titles exist, I cannot state how much I agree with you on the stupidity of the 6-man tag name because I didn't love it before, but like, it's now with the direct comparison that I'm like,
yeah, dumb.
Shut up. You know, it's like it's
no
so
good.
like, and also because I feel like ROH feels the need to throw in the world with like they even have a world TV title. Like, does that? There's a bit of a disconnect there for me.
Me too.
I feel like when it's like on tag team title, sure. Even the women's sounds a little weird, but I get that because like then it's kind of more equal. But I don't know. World 6-man. It's just like comeback earlier from Boy Perry only staggers Cage, and then Cage goes for a powerbomb, but Boy Perry counters with a DDT. I'm gonna try to stick that in my head.
Right.
German suplex, then a spinning full Nelson slam for 2 by Cage, which was kind of cool because he like kind of held him and then like spun him out with the same. I don't know. It was pretty cool. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but he's a pretty strong guy.
Strong boy, big strong.
Little known fact.
Yep.
Boy Perry counters the F5 into a destroyer for 2, which was pretty cool.
It was.
Cage took that nice.
Yep.
Then goes right into the snare trap. Prince Nana distracts the ref during the tap. Then the finish comes in. He sends Cage into Nana, knocking him off the apron, then rolls him up with an O'Connor roll for the win. So, takeaway here, no drill claw, match bad. Post match, Jungle Boy, Boy Perry.
I missed it.
Says at Full Gear he beat Luchasaurus and he just beat Cage, so he calls out Morrissey. And I'm not calling him Big Bill. That just sounds. I'll get to that. Hathaway comes out and says Boy Perry pisses him off, and he doesn't watch himself. He'll get Morrissey's boot in his face. Jungle Boy goes after Hathaway, but Moriarty attacks him. Then Morrissey joins in. A couple of consecutive corner moves by the Firm, and then a big choke slam. Then Hook comes out and kind of makes the save, and then offers his hand to pull up Boy Perry.
Yeah. It was too short to be super awesome, but there was some good action in there, right? And I thought the finish was not my favorite, and I'm hoping and I'm thinking Cage ends up in ROH, although they still haven't announced any sort of TV anything, right? Because I like watching him wrestle, right? So he needs a bit more attention.
Yeah. I do like that Cage has kind of had like, for an ROH act, he's kind of had some, like, it's been a steady-ish time on TV.
Yeah.
Compared to like a while ago.
And him with Nana is a good combination too. And I guess like you're establishing Jungle Boy right now as a giant killer, right? Luchasaurus, Brian Cage, then going after Large William, I guess.
Large William.
So that's a good angle for him to do while he's. I assume they're going back to Christian, right? So he needs to do something. And I guess this keeps him. He's not affecting any title scenes or anything, but it gives him something to do until Christian comes back.
I just saw a video about like how Christian got injured before he when he temporarily retired and then came back at the Royal Rumble and came to AEW. And I was like, and I was like, oh yeah, he came back to wrestling, but what did he do? And I was like, oh yeah, he wrestled in AEW because somehow I forgot.
He did.
So yeah, I forgot.
And then my only other note was, really, 3 guys are afraid of Hook?
I mean, he does throw people pretty good.
And one of them was Large William, wasn't it?
That's true.
Anyways, yeah, it was a good little match, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. Cage looked really good tossing Jungle Boy around. Some BS, though. Like, what do I gotta do to get a drill claw? Huh?
Fair.
What do I gotta do? Like, I thought Cage should have won this because he just got the title. And yes, that's just for a drill claw, mostly. But I didn't really see what Boy Perry had to gain from this, but I guess he's feuding with the Firm, so.
Well, and he's doing the Giant Killer now.
Also, they're calling that team, you know what they're calling that team? It's really funny.
What?
The Jungle Hook.
Jungle Hook? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
good.
that. So I guess not seeing the post-match, it makes more sense. Even though I still think Cage should have won because Drill Claw. Like, it's madness. How many times is he going to get to TV, which I like, and not hit a Drill Claw? How many times is it going to happen? Like,
it's going to make that Drill Claw when you finally get it super satisfying.
You can't keep doing that, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, the match was solid, though. Post-match is okay, I guess. It's like the next thing for some of the Firm guys in Jungle Boy, kind of like a mid-card kind of deal. Hook in there's kind of cool, but man, has he cooled down? Like, he doesn't really do a whole lot now.
He's been gone for so long.
He's still popular when he comes out, but like, he's just like I feel like he was like really hot when
was.
like for the first stretch, and it was like this big hype, and now it's just like it's kind of like plateaued a little bit.
Yep, I think that's pretty reasonable.
Also, after hearing them say it a bunch, Big Bill sounds really goofy.
It's bad.
I really don't like it.
I don't either.
Like
And I didn't love Morrissey either.
I don't. Yeah, I know W.C. Morrissey isn't like the best showbiz name, we'll say, but it's a lot better than Big Bill, which is like it's a nickname at best, and even then it'd be like annoying. It's like I don't know if you put freaking in the middle of your name.
Yeah, right. And force them to say it every time.
Every time, you know. I think the one time I was watching something, they said Seth Rollins, and I lost my crap. I was like, oh my god.
They got it right.
Yeah. Okay. Next we get Blackpool Combat Club promo, because they're not done with Jazz.
And there's still Blackpool Combat Club.
Sigh of all sighs. Yeah. Which is alright.
It seems, at least. Yeah, right?
Yeah. I like that name though, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know,
me
it's
too.
just like I don't know what else you'd call them either, so like that's alright.
Yep.
Moxley talked about Yuta winning his title back. Claudio won his title back. Moxley choked out Takeshita, which he did. I thought Takeshita looked weird because he had black boots instead of like, white boots. So, yep. Claudio said in 2023 they're putting everybody on notice. Probably just Jazz.
Appears so.
And Yuta said if they have taught him anything is that if you want to win, you keep fighting Jazz. Just kidding. He said you gotta fight like you're already dead. This feud is dead.
Can we review that? Fight like you're already dead.
So you'd be dead.
So
just limp on the ground.
Pretty good fighting. Like I don't. What does that make any sense to anybody? Fight like you're already dead.
I guess like you have nothing to lose, but like you could phrase it better.
And what did MJF say last week? Like a shark smelling water or something like that. Yeah, those are a couple quality lines.
Moxley said that Sammy Guevara is a gutsy kid, so he's gonna stop Sammy's face a no bloody mess and leave him for dead. So then when he fight like he's already dead.
Yeah.
Moxley,
no, because he became dead. He wasn't already dead.
So then in the rematch.
So the toughest fighting you'll ever do is when you're already dead.
Okay, so you gotta kill it. So like in the rematch, that'll be Sammy Guevara being like.
I don't know how long you have to be dead for, but
just have to be dead.
Your power just accumulates and accumulates.
Yeah. All right.
Fight like you're already dead, people. Words. Get that tattooed on your back. Okay.
Right under
Jot that down.
Right under LIVIN, because that'll be perfect.
That's your mom's. That's your mom's next tattoo.
And then
fight like you're already dead.
And then fight like you're already dead, because those are like opposite of each other. So
like
it'll be
shark
perfect.
Smelling water. MJF. Sorry.
It's like a rare misstep from him. It's gold.
Yeah.
Moxley said Hangman Page knows where to find them, so he can bring his Dark Order buddies too.
My only note on that was the fight like you're already dead. I loved, and this was riddled with references to Jazz, and I just can't take it anymore. I guess this was fine. That's all I have. Like, stop talking about this feud. Hate it.
I don't know. It was okay. It's a shame Mox down the card, but like it's all right. He's always great. Claudio spoke fine, as did Yuta, aside from what we discussed. Most of that was just like a general thing after like if they won a bunch of stuff. I guess we ain't quite done with this, but please make Rampage the last one, no matter what happens, because like I can't do much more. We need Mox Hangman. That's where it's at. All right.
Yes.
That is where it's at. That is
anywhere else is where it's at.
Anywhere else is where it's at. Yeah, it better honestly. Okay, it should have been at Final Battle, but as long as it's over by the end of the year, then I will forgive them for.
The name of the pay-per-view was Final Battle. Final.
Like I don't know how they didn't understand that. Like
not penultimate battle or whatever. Final.
Penultimate battle.
It's a good pay-per-view name. We're gonna have one more after this one.
It's like WWE's rematch clause, except it's like every match
That's
that show has to have a rematch.
Isn't that basically whatever the one after Mania is?
Wait, no.
Like, so Mania would be the penultimate
Mania
battle.
Is penultimate battle for most of the matches.
Because they're all right on the next show, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what we're going to call Mania from now.
Penultimate battle.
Penultimate battle.
That's awesome. All right. Next we get a quick promo from Swerve. So he's talking about what happened at Final Battle, which was I'm still not super clear on it. But he says Keith Lee's not a friend and he's not family. Swerve has no family in this industry, and they'll iron it out next week or whatever. He only has affiliates, something like that.
Yeah, he is just super cool, and you didn't really do him justice because it was short and sweet, right? I just think he could be a top heel if this roster weren't so bloated. And like, I think I've said it before, I find a way to get the TNT title on him and have him in that area for quite a while, because I don't know if you want to go like overall champion of your company, but I don't think it's out of the question. I think he's awesome, and I love him as a heel. So I thought he's just cool to me.
Yeah, it
I
was really
guess.
cool. He's just cool.
Yep.
It was pretty sweet. Swerve is 6. I like that. He's just like, he talks really cool. He's got a great vibe to him.
He does.
Kind of gives you the gist of what happened at penultimate battle, but I'm still a little foggy on it. Like, it looks like Lee joined with Shane Taylor peeps, but I can't really tell what happened.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Or like, did Swerve turn on him? Did he turn? I can't tell.
I'm definitely going back to watch FTR and Briscoes, and then I'm gonna try and get through everything, but I don't know when.
Now here's a question
Maybe
for
tonight,
you.
actually. Yeah.
If FTR want to collect all the titles and build a legacy, is that dog collar match really the final battle?
Penultimate?
It could be. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I heard was that in the promo on this show where Dax, I think, is like, yo, some people are saying it's the best trio of matches ever. I don't know. Like, they're pretty awesome. I haven't seen the third one, but how could it be bad? Other than dog collars, but
other than dog collars,
they'll make it work. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, I'm looking forward to what we get next week. I like me some Swerve. To quote his theme, I swerve when I drive. But I don't drive.
Not yet. Oh, Hannah got her license. Speaking of driving, she just said she got her G2.
That's weird that she's only doing that now.
Well, she came to Canada, had to get it here, right? So
I guess so. Yeah, I know. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because like, I don't remember how old she is.
I don't either.
20.
She's young.
Not 20 something. 20 something. 30 something.
By now,
29.
Maybe. I don't know.
30.
Maybe. I don't know. It's not an auction. I just don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's something around the age when you guys were when I was born.
So around something then, like around that. 30.
Yeah, that's my best guess.
Yeah.
Because Phil's like, what young? How old's Momo?
I don't know. Like anyways, this is a conversation for later. But
next we get.
She probably would hate that if we talked about how old you are on the podcast, even though it's like however many listeners, she'd still be mortified. She's young. She's a young, vibrant woman. Okay, that's all you need to know.
Try saying that with a straight face.
Yeah, right. Keep going. It's late, man.
Next we get House of Black versus The Factory. So judging from the entrance and some of the highlights on the ring gear, it seems like red is the new black for House of Black.
I see what you did there.
Aside from black, of course, because dark. That's also their color.
Yep.
Their color is also black. But yeah, so like Malachi had a lot more red on his ring gear. So, and my other note before the match is, it amazes me how boring Cole Carter looks. He tries to do like a mean face, but man, does he look boring.
And your notes are longer than the match.
And like, he's just like, his tights are so, he's so boring.
He looks like the dude you start out with when you do like the story modes in like WWE games. You know what I mean?
He's like your starter guy.
He's like the starter
Or he's
character.
like one of the guys in like, because like some of the stories start you in like an indie fed.
Yes, he is generic
like
indie worker number 7 or whatever.
How does he ever accomplish anything ever?
2 dimes. And actually, I like stacks, as you know, so.
Yeah. So
maybe this kid's awesome too. I don't know.
Nope. Hart missed Comorado. No black goo.
Nope, not yet. That'd be next time when she touches his leg on the way by.
Then Murphy and King attack Solo and Carter. King takes out Solo to crossbody in the barricade, which they didn't completely catch on camera.
Yeah, they missed one of the only high spots in this. But
then Murphy takes out Carter and Johnson with the Murphy's Law on the table, not through it. I don't know,
he sort of botched it a little. He didn't. It almost looked like he under-rotated him or whatever, too, a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't super clean.
Then the finish comes when the bell rings to start the match, and Black puts Marshall out with a black mass. Boom, done.
That looked all right. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a squash match, nothing more, right? It's to get them on there, House of Black looking dominant. There was a couple missed camera things and whatever. And so, yeah, it was okay. I don't know. It didn't really do much for me. I get it. They're here. They fight everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Give them somebody better.
Yeah, a couple things weren't executed perfectly, but as a general thing, I thought this was really cool. I wish they'd like executed it better, of course. Like if that spot panned out and the camera cuts were a little better, but I thought it was really cool on the whole though, and I liked the black mass. The effort was at least there to make them look a lot better than before. Like the presentation was there, and so far I think they've looked a lot better since coming back. Big pickup from that Sting BS they were doing.
Yes, that's
So
nice.
I think at least they've really picked that up, and thank God that Malachi's Sting match never happened.
Agree.
Imagine. Ugh.
I mean, be careful what you wish for, but
Careful what I
don't
wish the opposite
wish
for.
not for.
Careful what I. What's the opposite of wishing? Not wanting. I don't know.
Refusing? I don't know.
Respectfully declining.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next we get a Shida Jamie Hayter promo. Shida says Hayter's a great wrestler but not a history maker. Hayter congratulates her on winning the opportunity of a lifetime, but she's not fun to be in the ring with, and it's all go. Shida says she'll take Hayter's title, show her Joshi style. Hayter says she hits hard.
Shida has a championship right now, right?
Yeah, some Japanese thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I like these back and forth promos, right? And this is the closest thing you're gonna get to a build in this division, pretty much. So I guess I'll take what I can get, right? I thought they both sounded good, and yeah, it's just I find I'm a sucker as just doing this podcast, right? I like the back and forth. What were the really good ones on NXT, like the lengthy back and forth? They had a special
Prime Target.
That's right. They were really cool. Some of them.
What was
right?
it like?
So,
It was like Cole O'Reilly had a really good one.
So this was like a mini version of that. So I like these. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good.
I like this style. It was pretty quick, and builds the match next week. But it's just, can we not get any better of a build for these? Like, it's just kind of disappointing. You know?
But I mean, I'm like, this is what we get, so I guess I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's just kind of disappointing.
I agree.
Next we kind of roll right into Baker, which is kind of related, I guess. Baker says Shida beating Jamie will never be a thing. She is only famous for breaking Baker's nose, and she took the title from Shida. Sky Blue interrupts. Baker says the audacity to interrupt is sky high. LOL puns. And Blue says she heard Baker talking from
She
all
was
the
not
way.
good.
Oh my God, she was so bad. She was talking about how good Baker is at talking. I'm like, you ain't that, pal. And she was like, let's see if Baker wrestles as good as she talks. She says she isn't doing anything on Friday, which is funny because Sky Blue sucks at both. This is fine, but Sky Blue sounded really bad. Didn't like it, and it's a really boring Rampage match they just set up, and I don't want to watch it.
That's for sure. I guess like they have to find ways to keep Britt busy for the brief time that she's going to be happy supporting Hayter, because that's not going to last, right? So it's keep her on TV, keep her relevant, because eventually she's going to be tired of being in the shadows, obviously.
Yeah.
So I guess Sky Blue's fine. She did not sound good here, and especially when
she sucked.
In direct contrast, right? Comparison to somebody who's really good at it.
And also trying to like make like a joke or like at the expense of like Baker talking when like while she's just doing a horrible job. Like didn't really connect.
And yeah, and you're the bottom line sometimes I think for you and me is you're promoting a match that I'm not going to see on a show I don't watch. So I'm already a little bit whatever.
It's not even like one of those ones where it's like, oh, that's on Rampage, I'll watch it because that looks
good
on
Rampage. We went out of our way to watch Mox Takeshita, right? And it was
that's Takeshita.
Really good. I watched it twice. I liked it. You liked it, right?
I hate to shatter anyone's, whatever, but like Sky Blue is not Takeshita.
Whoa.
I hate to blow your minds, people.
Just to clarify, people, she's
Sky
not
Sky Blue is no Takeshita.
Takeshita.
No.
Agree.
Next we have Chris Jericho versus Action Andretti.
Yeah, interesting stuff here.
Who is someone
beloved
from Dark.
Yep.
So there's like a couple times where like the crowd would be counting for some reason. Like I guess if the ref was counting, and when they get to 8, they'd be like, oh, then they go Ocho.
It kind of made our day.
It was really funny. Actually, I noticed that the first time that was kind of funny. And then there's the one point where they were both down, and then they did it again, and it was really funny. Oh wait, no, that was in the main event. They did it again. But
they did it in a completely different match later.
Yeah, I noticed it the first time. It was really funny. Cause I think it was when he was doing the crowd count punches, and you noticed that, and then I was like, oh, that's funny.
It was funny. Crowd was good.
Yeah. There's a running corner close on by Jericho. Then Andretti fires back with chops before getting put down with a weak boot from Jericho. Repeated corner clotheslines by Jericho. Springboard kind of corkscrew splash for a 1 count by Andretti, which is kind of nice. Death Valley driver by Jericho. Flurry by Andretti, and then a backbreaker, weak backbreaker, and then a neck breaker. Then he goes for a split like a moonsault. Jericho gets the knees up, or Jerichi as I wrote, because it's got an I on the end. So.
Jerichi.
Yeah. Andretti counters the juice, affecting a roll for 2. Nice moonsault to the outside. The finish comes in. Andretti counters a move by Jericho. Like, it's kind of like a weird hesitation thing. Like, it was just kind of like they sold it like Jericho got dumped on his head, but he just kind of like did like a rollover on his back.
Oh, right. Yes. I
A couple
remember
things
that.
were kind of odd here.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
running shooting star press, and Andretti wins for some reason.
Yeah, so I was like obviously super surprised by that, and I thought this was fun, and it mostly because the crowd was so into it. They, I think, were amusing themselves by cheering for the jobber, right? Never imagining that. So they got like the payoff
Ocho.
was great for them, so they loved it. And I, apparently Jericho saw this kid wrestle on Dark and was like, he's like a star, and I'm willing to put him over, sort of thing, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
And he looked athletic for sure, but I thought like unpolished is what I would say. Like some of the stuff wasn't perfect, and it looks like he's like a ton of potential. But again, like if this is how he's going to connect with the crowd, or even 50% of that, like you have something, right?
Yeah.
If the crowd gets this into him, then he has a future. And obviously he's super athletic and a decent look and whatnot. So, and like just a huge moment for him, right? Like super cool for him. I don't think he looked really awesome technically, but yes, there's potential, and the crowd absolutely loved him. So I thought it was kind of fun. You?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought it was pretty solid because he looked solid aside from a few things that didn't quite hit the mark. But he definitely showed some solid athleticism here, and I guess gets the rub from the win here. It was just kind of odd, but like I don't know, it was good, and like good for him. He did get like really over here.
Yes.
I don't even know if he's like a local guy or whatever, but he's a relative unknown. I guess now we know it's from Dark or whatever. Not sure what the angle is here, but they I've seen people compare to like Scott Hall did this for Jericho back in the day.
And 1-2-3 Kid was Razor Ramon.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
So I guess that's that, and then they also have signed Andretti now.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Right. Just it's a thin roster. We better sign more people. But I mean,
we need Andretti.
You see what happens. I'm sure it's not a big money contract, right? So see what happens, I guess.
Next we get a Ricky Starks interview. So he's talking about getting a title shot against Maxi Pad, MJF. And he gets to be in his backyard since he lives in Texas. When he talked about how when he had his neck broken, he made sure to fight back, and he said he's gonna win the title. And he's been grinding for the last 11 years, and he said that he's a reflection of what MJF wants to be. He said that he's going to be the AEW World Champion, and nobody else is going to forget his face.
I thought he sounded really good here again, and like I think his promo skills are what are going to take this guy the farthest, right? I'm not saying he's bad in any area, but the fact that he can cut really strong, confident, believable promos, right? I think are his strongest thing. So yeah, this was good again.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid, driving home the point again, and he delivered it really well. If I wasn't already positive MJF would be winning, this would be an even better.
Right.
He's like the way he's carrying himself here and delivering it, like it's going to be this big monumental win, which is obviously how you want to deliver it. But like it makes it a shame that won't be the case, because if he was carrying himself like this and he was going to win, I think that'd be really great. But obviously that probably won't be the case.
Like if his build continues and they circle back around, then the next time, but yes, there's no doubt he's not winning here, but he's doing a really good job regardless.
Exactly. Next we get a quick FTR promo. They're talking about penultimate battle being the hardest match of their career. But the Guns wanted more attention, and they want to take the shine away from FTR, and won't happen. And Cash talks about them being the most vicious match of their lives, and then the Guns wanted attention after. Now they have their attention, they'll kick the Ass Boys' asses. Dak says they're trying to build a legacy here, and if it has to go through the Guns, then so be it, and they have their attention now. Do they have their attention now? I don't know.
I thought I loved this, actually, and it kind of made me care about a match with the Guns. I'm not going to lie. They sound like legit tough guys, and that they're pissed off and they're beat up from their match at Final Battle, and they're just sort of done with the Guns, right? Like, okay, fine. Like, you bugged us enough. We're now going to give you the match you want. I don't know. I thought they were really believable here, and I'm kind of curious, call me crazy, to see what FTR can pull out of the Guns in that with an actual little bit of build, right, to this, and stakes, I guess, as well. So I'm curious to see if FTR can elevate the Guns. Like, it's possible, right, that we're like, wow, that was a really good tag match. And I know you'll give all credit to FTR
Oh yeah,
when that happens.
that'd be like Danielson fighting. Who's boring? Who's someone who's boring?
Danielson fighting someone who's boring.
Like the Guns, but like
Dexter Loomis.
no, someone in the EW.
Oh.
Like let's Lee Johnson.
I was gonna say Aaron Solo.
Aaron Solo.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like
So I like this promo. I thought it was like they came across as pissed off and just they've lost their patience with. They know they're giving the Guns what they want, but they just don't care and just want to fight.
Yeah,
them at this
I like
point.
that. And but though my only complaint is this man is just it's a drop for them. Like that just kind of sucks.
For
that
sure.
They got stuck with this instead of holding 4 titles. They should have beaten the Briscoe, so it's like a clean sweep there. Like I don't mind the Guns. Like I wish at least FTR kept those titles, but I did like how they delivered it here, so it was pretty good.
Yep.
Jericho's melting down backstage. Storms his locker room. He's hitting stuff with a chair while screaming, shouting he's the Ocho, which
He's mad.
the crowd are aware of.
Yep.
Next we get Ty Mello versus Ruby Soho.
Say it.
More jazz.
What's my line?
This
is your women's match this week, right? Like,
at least this
I'm
one.
sorry if that annoys people, but I feel the need to point that out that this is it every week, okay? And I'm not even saying this is bad. I'm
At
just
least
saying
it kind of has
this
like
is it.
It kind of has a feud going into it at least, but
'Cause
like still it feels lackluster.
Mello is who broke Ruby's nose,
right?
right?
But see, that's not even on purpose. Then
Yeah.
you know,
No, she actually hit her with her finisher, right? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And also, I just don't like the name Ty Mello. Still, it just sounds like disjointed. I don't know why.
Ty Mello? I
Like
don't know.
Ty Mello. I don't know, like Ty Conti. That
Ty
sounds.
Mello sounds like one word.
That's not good.
No.
I don't like it. Ruby Soho too, so she's there.
She is there. And they wrestle.
Yeah.
Wrestle.
They wrestle. Mello sends Soho into the barricade a couple times. Sends her into the stairs. There's a series of Saito suplexes for 2 by Soho.
They look good, I thought. I made a note of them. They must have been good.
What are you gonna call them?
Doomsday Saitos, please. Doomsday Suplex, did it become on main roster? I feel like
That sounds like a Michael Coleism
You
if I've ever
will-
heard one.
it's all an homage to Cross. Okay,
Yeah.
every Saito ever done.
I guarantee they just changed it to a Doomsday Suplex.
I think they did.
That is a Michael Coleism if I've ever heard one.
But it's also like Vince is like, these idiots don't know what Saito Suplex is. You can't, and maybe he's right. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
the
but,
vast
like, it's-
majority.
that
but-
sounds cooler.
Yes, I agree.
DDT on the ramp by Mello, which is solid.
Also look good, yeah. Especially because it's going after the face, right? That's she broke the first
The
time.
Elite already did
That is true.
Pump kick by Mello for 2. Gotch powder for near fall by Mello, which is odd. Like that doesn't seem like something she would do.
Or
But it was
kick
cool.
out of, but
Sure.
Yeah.
And Soho eventually wins to the Destination Unknown, aka a crummy Blade Runner.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, but she just doesn't do it good. I'd rather her do the weird riot kick thing. Like
Oh yeah.
if I'm gonna see anyone do that move, I either want to see Bray Wyatt do it, but not really. I'd rather see Jay White do it because
That's true.
the Blade
That's
Runner is the
fair.
best one. So yeah, and then Jay, it's a fire bomb after.
Oh,
whatever,
yes.
Gory bomb, whatever, KLR bomb.
KLR bomb. Yeah, I thought this was pretty good, right?
That's probably the best.
I didn't really have a problem with it. They both hit some decent looking stuff, and as you would expect, Ruby gets a
Ruby.
solid win in her return, I guess, right? But like, I don't really care about either one of them. Not their fault. But like, I don't know anything about them. They don't get any time to do anything. Ty Mello is what's his face's obnoxious wife. That's about it, right? And Ruby Soho is
What did they say in the
Punk?
entrance about like
I don't
something
know.
about them being in love? It was like, and they said it really weird too.
Oh, they did.
Oh, what was it? It was like
I can't remember. The phrasing was awesome.
So bad though.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
That's
anyways,
funny.
I like it was a decent enough TV match, right? But there's no, I don't know, there's no story, there's no build into anything. This was just revenge for the broken face. So I guess sure.
And is this done? I guess. Or
Yeah.
are they gonna drag this out like everything else?
Yeah.
Boom.
For 8 months. I don't know.
Winter's coming next year.
Still going.
That's gonna be like Ruby Soho and like 2 other people versus like TJ and like frickin' Cargill or something. I don't
Vicious
know.
Vixens.
Yeah, it'll be like TJ and Vicious Vixens versus like Soho and like 3 other people. Oh, it'll be like some weird BS.
Mandy
was-
Rose comes to reunite with Ruby
That's
Soho.
my fear.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I
She
don't
might
think
not
so.
want to, right? Like she's making enough money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It was solid. They had some solid stuff in here, but just didn't feel like a super fluid match. Like they're just kind of like moving towards stuff.
Yes.
I think they should have had a little more time, given how it's supposed to be a scarred match. But I mean, count how many times I say that about a women's match, you know.
Yep.
The post match was whatever. I don't care about anything Anna Jay's ever done, or ever will do.
Oh wow. I'm
Especially
open to what she will do.
I'm
What
just
she's
kidding.
done, I would
It's
concur.
I'm just kidding, but like I think the ceiling's low.
I just like she's not. Maybe shouldn't be on TV as much as she is. Should be in developmental if they had such a thing, or on the internet wrestling.
on the internet.
Yes.
Again, get the women in a show. Like, why do we have
Or
two dark
get
shows?
the women a show.
Why do we have Why do we have two darks?
And then you have an undercard. The problem is, right, when they're the ones on TV and they're the only ones. Now, if there's a full show, then you've got room for lower card, mid card, upper card, right?
It makes more sense.
When you're giving them one
and
spot,
having the second title too,
and you're giving us mid to low card,
like
it's not satisfying.
Yeah, like I don't, it's weird.
Yeah.
So then we get checking in on Hangman. So Marvez goes to interview them, and they're checking in on him with getting his head and stuff.
And Evil Uno's just standing behind him, right?
Yep, he's there.
Just chilling. Doesn't say anything or do anything, but he's there.
That reminds me, watched Preston Vance got an interview with JR on Rampage. For his first bit, it was pretty solid actually. Like he was saying something like it's a little off topic, but
like
I'll just kind of
out of character or in character.
Like in character, like for his first bit, like since the whole turn thing.
Yeah.
Like some of it was that just off of memory was like they always like the whole thing like they were never my brothers or whatever, but like that like bro obviously his thing was he was the one that was handpicked by Brody Lee. None of the other guys he was handpicked by Brody Lee, right? And he saw something in him.
Yeah.
And then he was kind of feeling like that's kind of the same thing with LFI now, and so now they're his brothers. And like he was saying, like Brody Jr. didn't deserve to go through that, but like in the past 2 years, a lot of time he was like saying now he's like a sweat brother or whatever. But like I'll maybe try to remember to show you, but it was pretty solid for like Preston Vance. But just kind of remember that off of Evil Uno, but he was pretty solid.
Good.
Anywho, Hangman said it doesn't look like he'll it'll be anytime soon for him to be cleared. He said he was laying out on the mat snoring for 60 seconds, and they got put in an ambulance. Took him to the local medical facility.
That is correct.
And Hangman knew the date was October, I think 18th or whatever.
Yep.
There in Cincinnati, he was wrestling the world champion. He had about 100 calls and messages. They want Hangman to unlock his phone. There's a photo of his son on there, and Hangman was asked to name his son, but Hangman forgot his name in that moment. Yeah, and so he said for a whole hour he didn't know his son's name. He said he's been to hell, and that's hell. And he said if John Moxley wants to fight him, then he'll fight him. And if Moxley tempts him to go back to hell, then he'll take him with him. Boom.
Yeah, I thought this was a clever way to like get the seriousness of the concussion across, even if they're exaggerating, because I don't know if that story about not recognizing his son is true. I doubt it, but it's a nice touch, right? And it kind of brings us back to like the tough but sensitive cowboy, that he kind of plays, which is cool. I think it's a really cool character. So I thought he did an awesome job of delivering this. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, it kind of makes it feel more real and more personal, and adds more heat to what's kind of a babyface feud.
Right.
Which
that's
it's
true
kind of
too.
tricky to do sometimes. So I kind of like that as well. I like what they did there. Then we got a quick bit from Best Friends and Dustin Rhodes, because that makes sense. Rhodes calls out Sabian 7, Butcher, and Blade because they're totally affiliated. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And says they'll flatten them on Rampage because we saw that coming.
Exactly.
Trent Beretta calls the hands in. Rhodes says they'll see them on Friday. It was fine, really quick, random combo here, but I guess gotta get Rhodes in as much as he can in his last year. Like I don't.
That's a good point.
Rampage match, sure. I guess it kind of stems from the Battle Royal, but other than that, like, Best Friends weren't even in that match. I guess Cassie was, but like Cassie, I don't even know Cassie's wrestling. I thought it was Danhausen.
I think I'm summarizing what you're kind of saying. My only note: mid-carders promoting a meaningless match on a show I don't watch.
That makes it sound even
right.
more
I mean, no offense to anybody, but that's pretty much what it is. So that's about as much thought as I put into it.
Yep.
Yep.
Next we go to our main event, which is the winner take all for the ring that goes on your finger and the belt that goes around your waist.
For all of the things.
Both of the things.
All of the jewelry.
All of them.
The accessories.
The Dynamite diamond ring, aka the double
Actually,
D, and then the title, which is the triple B.
both of them are correct.
Yeah. So double D is funny to me. Notables, there's an eye poke from MJF.
A notable eye poke.
Absolutely.
That's
when the
all.
ref was pulling them apart, then he hammer throws Starks into the corner. Yeah, just an eye poke. That's it, yeah. There's an abdominal stretch by MJF. Just leave it at that, because it's an abdominal stretch, right?
Yeah.
It's peak. And he cheats with the ropes and, like, kind of using that for a bit of leverage, which is, like, I guess, but, like, is that really going to help you pull it more? Is that what puts it over the
classic
top?
heel stuff, all right? How dare you?
That's
how wrestling physics works.
These are the fundamentals of the sport we watch.
It's like rolling over the figure four. You reverse the pressure. Don't think too much about it.
It's like this is inflating the pressure.
Correct.
I don't understand the logic, like, the figure four thing. Like, I guess I do, but, like, not to the degree they sell. Like,
It's
I don't.
wrestling physics. How dare you?
We have the power to. It's like I remember I watched like a video a while ago of like this guy reviewing like talking about dumb reviews on the App Store. It was like, for weird apps, like a scale on your phone, like it's gonna like magically change the function of the phone to like operate as a scale. So it's like you're just changing physics and stuff there, wrestling physics.
That's right.
So he's shooting with the ropes until he gets caught by the ref, then hit tossed by Starks, and he hits a lariat, and they're both down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ocho.
Correct.
Sit out powerbomb for 2 by Starks, which is pretty nice. Powerbomb backbreaker by MJF for 2. And the first time I only saw Starks land on his neck off of the backbreaker, so I thought he got like killed again.
Something like super high angle directly to the mat.
Like the German suplex from Hangman. I thought it'd be another one of those, which I was just like, no, not again. I was just like, thank God it's a backbreaker, because like, imagine he just like kills him again. It'd be even worse since he's a babyface now.
It would.
Anywho, I just remembered Phoenix got injured.
Oh yeah, that was a tough one to watch.
That was this year. That feels like ages ago.
That was bad.
Oh, now I want to watch that.
You're sick.
Why do I want? No, I don't. Ugh. Anyways, why? I don't. I'm stupid. Nice back and forth strike exchange. Then Starks hits a spear, can't capitalize because of the bad arm. Then after the ref is counting both of them down, you bet your ass they said ocho.
They did.
So that was when I was waiting for. That was really funny. He crawls to the pin for 2. MJF kicks out right into the salt of the earth, the Fujiwara armbar, which is really cool. And so Starks is kind of inching the ropes. MJF kind of modifies it to capture his other arm and then one of his legs, but then uses his last leg to get the rope break. The finish comes when MJF uses the ref as a shield and shoves him out of the way. Low blow Starks, just rolls him up with a small package to retain.
Such a heel.
Tomfoolery and shenanigans, cheating and trickery. Then after the match, Danielson came out to chase MJF through the crowd.
Yeah. So really good main event. Very sudden finish, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you they made like a shirt of the MJF Danielson thing. I'll show you real quick. I'll look for while you're talking about like of that moment. And it's so funny because it's like back when WWE made the Firefly Funhouse shirt, and it was like really not great.
You would like to use my personal hotspot?
No, I just.
That's what my phone says. But
okay.
Yeah, this was a really good match, back and forth.
That's nice. A shirt.
Good physicality and a good pace to it, right? The finish was very sudden, but again, MJF is the heel of all heels, so I guess that makes sense. And it's a compliment to Starks a little bit, right? Because MJF didn't use his finisher here. He had to resort to shenanigans to pick up the win. The crowd was really into it. I was pretty into it too. And I think like this will elevate Ricky Starks at the end of the day, right? With the roster this big though, like my fear is like and I'm not even joking really, that it's possible that now we don't see him for 2 months, right? Because that seems to be like they're really good at building somebody up and then they kind of lose track of them. So I think
at least they kind of put him back because like he kind of fell from grace after the Hobbs thing, and then he kind of came back.
He does come out of this feeling more important, right? So that's successful. I thought it was a good match. You?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It underwhelmed a little bit for me. I think it can mostly be attributed to time restraints.
Yeah.
Because it was shorter than I thought it would be. It is on TV, granted, but I thought they would have allotted more for this just because it was built pretty well for a shortish build. So I thought they would kind of give it more. But I think they packed in some good stuff in the time they had, though. The in-ring story with Stark's arm is always pretty solid. Finish was a little anticlimactic for me, but classic team for MJF, so it's all right. I do like setting up MJF Danielson. That should be sweet down the line. So overall, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Overall thoughts on the show. Thought it was a good episode, not great. I liked the opener, obviously. Again, I agree with you. It was probably my least favorite of the series of matches, but that's still a really good match, right? Like, I don't want to say it's not. I like the main event quite a bit. The Cage Jungle Boy match was short, but it was decent as well. I liked FTR's promo. Jericho Action Andretti I thought was fun, so that's a positive as well. And then, I don't know, there's just the Swerve promo was quick, but I really liked it. I don't know, it just didn't hit as like an amazing show to me, but I thought it was solid again. I'm gonna go with a straight up B for this show. Like some good stuff, but top to bottom, I wasn't thrilled with it.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Like, I think the trio's always delivered, so I love that. Jungle Boy Cage is pretty solid. I like the style contrast. Andretti was interesting. It was pretty fun, like you said. Women's is fine. Am I missing anything? The House of Black was a squash. Then the main event was pretty good. But I feel like in like the segments, like I guess Hangman was pretty solid. MJF and Starks both cut good promos.
Yeah.
FTR was solid. Like, I think it was generally like a good show, but I feel like I'm kind of left wanting a little more
Me
for
too.
like winners coming.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good point too. It is like a special show or
Yeah,
whatever,
it's
right?
one of the more
That's
consistent
fair.
ones. So like, I would have liked a little more from
Me
that.
too. I forgot about that.
So, but other than that, I think it was pretty good though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I liked it. I think a B is fair.
Okay. So let's move into a little bit of trivia that I have done for you this week in a segment we call Off the Top of His Head. All right, so I'm calling it Interesting Exits because I think it was initially controversial but then I added a couple that it's basically people leaving wrestling companies under whatever circumstances. I think you'll crush it because some of them are very well known and pretty easy, and maybe some of my clues will lead you to the more difficult ones. So super easy one. You ready? I think I have 15. So first one, after being released from her contract while still being the women's champion, she showed up on Monday Nitro and promptly threw the title in the garbage.
Alundra Blaze, or I guess Medusa, I don't know, whatever.
Correct. I remembered this one, so hopefully you'll get it. On September 3rd, 95, he worked a WWE house show teaming with Shawn Michaels to beat the tag team champions Owen Hart and Yokozuna by DQ in the main event. And 2 days later, he showed up unannounced on the debut episode of WCW Monday Nitro.
Is that Luger?
It is Luger.
I didn't know about the house show bit, but...
Very good. He discovered that his long-term girlfriend was having an affair with one of his best friends while he sat at home recovering from major knee surgery.
Not Hardy.
Correct. And then other clue I had was not only did he vent at the guilty parties directly, but he aired his grievances on the internet via his own personal website and in interviews. All right, next one. Feeling burnt out and beat up, sick of the travel and the injuries and the monotony of life on the road, he informed WWE management just days before his scheduled match at WrestleMania 20 that he wanted out.
Goldberg?
Correct. Or no, sorry. His
Les.
match was against Goldberg.
Also Lesnar.
Correct. Sorry. I saw the word Goldberg there. Suffering also from burnout around the summer of 2006 and physically falling apart, he interrupted I'd never heard this part. Interrupted a production meeting at a television taping, pulled down his pants to show Vince McMahon his legs and groin, which were completely black and blue, and demanded a meeting at WWE headquarters. 2006.
I have no idea.
Okay, I've got more. At said
Is
meeting...
this Jeffrey?
No, at said meeting, Vince produced pages of transcribed voicemails and text messages that this wrestler had left for him, most of which were of a threatening nature.
Oh.
He also probably had some painkiller addiction. I don't think I'm speaking... This is a...
Angle?
Yes. And I was going to go a major star.
Damn.
Yeah. I didn't know a few of those. Like, I remember him leaving and him being like...
I knew, but like, I know there's like a painkiller thing. I knew he left from... Damn.
I don't know if the painkillers were timed out for that point, but I think so, because I think he was struggling.
Yeah.
Mid-90s, he went from full-time in-ring performer and one of WWE's top stars to a commentator and ambassador for the organization. He was not content... Sorry, go ahead.
Savage.
Correct. He was not content to sit on the sidelines, and Vince was focused on younger talent, so he let the wrestler go to WCW. This superstar went from being a supporting character to one of the biggest stars of the Attitude Era in just a couple of short years. Care to guess off that clue before I give you a major clue?
Foley or Austin?
No. She felt as though she should
Damn.
be paid as much.
Sable.
No, as top stars like The Rock and Steve Austin. Well,
Sunny.
also feeling that wrestling her fellow women was beneath her.
China.
Correct. She and WWE quote unquote mutually agreed to let her contract expire.
Yeah.
By mid 2002, this wrestler was feeling the effects of a career that was always on borrowed time following a major neck injury. He was also mentally exhausted and creatively unsatisfied with his position in the company as well as the direction of the company as a whole. So 2002, super megastar. He publicly vented these frustrations, including on WWE internet show Bite This. Refused to lose to Lesnar as scheduled.
Austin.
Correct. No-showed Raw and went home. Took his ball and went home, right? I think, isn't that what they said?
That's what they always say, yeah.
A huge star, next one, in WWE, he left in controversial fashion 3 separate times. Okay, so there's your first clue. Any guess? Left 3 times. And I said WWF as well. So that's helpful.
Okay.
First one, made demands for his pay and accommodation and refused to come to work until they were met.
Warrior?
Correct. Second one, crazy.
I had to think for a sec.
Second time, caught using human growth hormone along with British Bulldog. Gone.
Shocker.
Third time, missed scheduled dates. Gone. Nice work, Warrior. He walked out of the company after an episode of Raw following the Royal Rumble.
Punk?
Correct, your boy. Reportedly had... Sorry, this is the other clue. Same person, still Punk. Reportedly had a meeting that day with Vince and Triple H and told them that he was going home due to being unhappy. No. With creative,
What?
along with his deteriorating health.
I didn't know that.
Right. Next one. When he went to WCW and appeared on Nitro for the first time, he also appeared on Monday Night Raw, which was taped the week before the same night.
Recruit.
Correct. Apparently,
You mean also he had a beard because he was in DX and then he shaved it to have
Right.
a mustache to prove, to show Raw's tape.
That's right. And apparently, I did not know this. He left in part to his anger about the screw job involving Bret Hart.
Why?
Because I think they're buddies or something. Or I don't
Really?
know.
That's weird.
Next one. In the 80s, he felt that he should be at the same level as Hogan. Guess? I have 2 more clues.
Okay, no.
He no-showed an event in Toronto, hoping to get 6 weeks of vacation, and was let go. The last clue will give it to you.
Orndorff?
No. It was revealed
Nino
many years
Bravo.
later that he was upset with WWE over their not allowing him to take part in the G.I. Joe action figure line.
Slaughter?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Because G.I. Joe.
Well, I thought it was like someone else because I know Slaughter had an action figure, but I guess he just got a G.I. Joe one, so I don't know, maybe it's...
Next one.
Only
When his
recent.
contract was up with WWE, he signed a deal with WCW, who was suddenly giving any WWE wrestler looking to leave big money. This will narrow it down for you to at least to just 2 people. On his way out, took part in the famous curtain call. Pick
okay.
one.
All right. I'll take Hall.
No, take the first one.
Nah.
Correct. He suddenly retired on an episode of Raw in 2011 for medical reasons.
We're not gonna mention the sledgehammer ladder match. All right.
No.
All right.
So who is it?
Nash.
No, the next one. Retired on an episode of Raw for medical reasons. 2011.
Bret Hart.
Canadian boy who's back now.
Oh, Edge.
Correct.
Yeah, he hasn't been around in a bit.
Penultimate one. Won Money in the Bank and the Royal Rumble in the same year. Then, in 2014, was released from the company for unprofessional conduct. Apparently, had a backstage altercation with an employee. General Dirtbag.
Del Rio.
I love that I just have to say General Dirtbag, and you know. I thought you'd get it
Meanwhile,
off the Money in the Bank Royal Rumble same
That's
year.
what I was trying to think of, and then you said General Dirtbag, and then I kind of connected.
Right, as it would. Last one. She retired at the age of 26. Retired. Sorry, I'm using air quotes. Due to a neck injury.
Paige.
I just wanted to make you acknowledge her. And yes, remained in WWE as one of its personalities for years
We're not going to talk about the Kabuki Warriors.
No, we are not. Okay, so we're going to move into, it'll be our final segment this week because you said there was nothing new from the world of wrestling figures. So we'll get into what we liked and didn't like on whatever else we watched this week. And that's the segment called Highspots and Restholds. So did you do a few for main roster? Because I've got NXT and Impact.
Raw, SmackDown.
Nice. Okay, so I'll do
Just 3.
I'll do NXT first, then let you do 3, and then I'll do Impact. Sound
Cool.
fair? Okay, so NXT Highspot. I thought
None.
no, there's a few, not a ton, maybe. Roxanne Perez's best promo to date, I thought, by a long shot, and impressive because it was live. It wasn't like a pre-recorded
Right.
segment. So basically, she started the show in ring. Grayson Waller interrupted to brag about his win at Deadline. And then I thought she sounded like very comfortable for her and confident, pointing out that like, because obviously he cuts her off to brag about his accomplishments, and she's basically like, well, I won first, and the first ever Iron Survivor match, and she won it from the number 1 spot, which
That's
is
true,
true.
right? So like,
Right,
really,
so
yeah.
I thought she sounded better than Breaker because he ends up coming out to sort of defend her and obviously to get his feud going with Waller, right? So I thought she sounded good here, and sometimes she does not. Another high spot is Stax. I kind of like him in ring. I say it all the time, right? He lost to Wesley in this week, a decent TV match, and he just looks quick and aggressive and somewhat technically sound, showing a bit more technical ability, I think. So, I mean, his character could use some work, but that's not his fault, right? He's been assigned like you're a mob underling, so like what are you gonna do?
His name is Stax.
That is also an
His
excellent
name
point.
is. I don't love Channing Lorenzo either. It's one of those things where it's like it really feels like mashing names together.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But like his name is Stax, people.
Yeah.
All right, just to put things.
I feel like they have 2 wheels backstage, and when they come up with a name, they're like first name wheel,
that's what I'm
last
saying.
name wheel, and then they spin it.
It's like Channing Lorenzo. Like those names don't go together. They both feel like first names.
Channing Lorenzo.
Right. I don't know, and like not even that. Just like some names just go together and some don't. You know?
Right. Resthold officially now, because it's been around a while. Dijak's new look is not cool. Like he's doing like Terminator, and I find it's just like
that makes sense.
I don't like it. So, anyways, he came out to have a stare down with Tony D'Angelo. I don't even remember what the context was, but that's what happened. Resthold women's tag match. We had Niall and Tatum Paxley taking on Toxic Attraction. Pretty basic 4-minute match that kind of broke down and ended in a brawl because they're trying to put across the bitterness of this group of tag teams, right? So Chance and Carter at ringside, and they keep brawling, and then I think they brawled backstage. So it was more angle than match, but I didn't enjoy it. Resthold, can't believe it. I know you're going to be shocked to hear this.
I am shocked.
Off the heels of what match did I like of Wagner's recently? Breaker? Wagner?
Yes, yeah.
Right? So off the heels of that barn burner, we got Von Wagner and Odyssey Jones.
I saw. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, I told you.
It was about as good as you thought it would be, right? So
I don't get why anyone thinks he's good.
He's big, so, like, limited dudes having a quick TV match. So
remember, like in the tournament, not Wagner. Jones is like touted as like a fast big guy like Keith Lee, and he's like the opposite.
He's not, and I'm wondering if this because Wagner took the loss here, so have they sort of realized that hey, this guy's not that great?
Oh my God, Wagner's so bad. I kind of forgot because it's been a while, but like he's still really bad.
So, Malik Blade got involved in this. He hit a drive-by to Wagner, which was interesting because they're like very much baby faces who helped him cheat here. So I guess it wasn't a clean loss, but it wasn't good. Whatever it wasn't good. High spot. Jiro got a win. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah.
So
didn't he get scripted?
Yes, it was over Javier Bernal in a quick match, but like Jiro's entertaining and the crowd likes him, right? So it was nice for him to get on TV and win. But yes, the only reason he won is because Scripps came out and was like, hey guys, I'm a heel in case you were wondering. And I have upgraded my gear and mask, but it's gone from like the worst thing ever to the second worst thing ever.
I didn't even notice the difference when I saw it.
Tiny difference, still super, really awful.
I can tell you what happens on the next 2 weeks because it's taped.
The pants and stuff looked less like they picked it up at the party store, but like it was still really, really bad. So I guess his first feud's going to be with Jiro, so cool, right? But yes, Scripps is it's a horrible, horrible character.
I don't even understand what it is.
It's making Axiom look like super cool. And Axiom's brutal character.
I don't like Axiom.
Right. Major rest hold, like big rest hold, was a Wendy Chu segment this week. Again, not her fault. It's the stuff they gave her. So, what was it? A week ago, 2 weeks ago, Jade threw a drink in her face and she like had a meltdown and sat in the ring and cried. Remember I told you her eyelashes were like stuck to her cheek?
Yeah.
So anyways, she tried to explain why that drink being thrown in her face hit her so hard. And it was basically that back when she was a kid at a sleepover, and they even do the flashback
Oh
to
my
her as a
God.
kid. She forgot an extra set of clothes, and one of the other girls threw a drink in her face, and they all laughed at her. That was what this was.
Supervillain origin story or
That's
something.
dude. That's in my notes. Is this her origin story? It's literally on there. So, like, and is that like she forgot to take pajamas then, so now she overcompensates by wearing pajamas?
Always having pajamas. But
Like-
then, like, does she have an extra pajamas now?
And just the fact that this is the ultra mega trauma this person has experienced, right? Was that someone threw a drink in there, and just like everyone was looking at her and laughing. So it made it feel like really juvenile to me, and she didn't have a chance given this material, and it was just really, really bad. And she's not bad in the ring, but this was something, man. I almost wanted you to watch it. It was that entertaining. Resthold again was for me New Day, Pretty Deadly, and Briggs and Jensen segment. I'm just not really big on New Day in general at this point. In ring, fine. So their shtick annoys me more than entertains me at this point. And Brooks and Jensen were coming out and doing like America stuff, like they're pledging the allegiance and stuff like that. Like it was just a lot of time and not very interesting.
And they get a title shot now.
I don't need New Day on NXT. That's right. So I'm hoping Pretty Deadly somehow gets the titles back, but who knows? Highspot McDonough got a decisive win in a pretty good but short TV match against Brutus. McDonough, honestly, like, I don't think he can have a bad match at this point. And he hit a Devil Inside out on the floor and another one in the ring. I just think that move looks cool. Like, the whole, like, pulling him in by the arm is such a cool touch to an otherwise pretty
it's really
simple thing.
simple, yeah.
Right? But it looks cool. And then I have a couple other high spots. Oh, I got a few things. Zoe Stark promo after a really bad in-ring segment a couple weeks ago after turning heel. This was much shorter, not live, and I thought she sounded really good. She basically was talking about Nikita Lyons being a waste of roster space, and she challenged Lyons to a match, saying that Lyons can bring the TikTok dances while Stark can bring the real talent, which I thought was kind of like a good, straightforward heel promo. My girl Lyra Valkyria's debut, I liked it. It wasn't quite a squash. It was a Murray Miller, so a dominant
her finish was kind of lame.
It was a top rope splash. It looked good. She lands heavy, I thought, right? Like, it looked impactful. I thought, anyways. I thought she had some good-looking kicks. She had a Northern Light suplex. Like, she looked like she's pretty good technically. And then I liked the top rope splash. So, her entrance, did you see her entrance? You should actually look it up.
I have not.
So, look it up while I'm doing my last little bit here. Check it out. It's starts out cool, but then they keep, like, whatever they add, a computer generated, whatever it is, like banner of dark clouds, and then rain is coming the whole time. So I don't know where they connected her being a bird, because she wears like feathers and stuff, which again might not be the best character stuff.
Yeah.
But like, why? Because she's a bird, is she in a storm all the time? Like, I don't. Anyways, I didn't get. But it's weird if you get a chance to see it.
I'm looking at it.
And then Resthold was Kiana James and Brooks Jensen interacting backstage. So like, he's really nervous around her because she thinks she's hot or whatever. And for some reason she's giving him a shirt as an early Christmas gift, because if he's going to be champ, he needs to dress better or something like that. And then he just starts talking about
worst looking clouds I've ever seen.
Right? Starts talking about Fallon Henley.
It's just on the top of the screen. It's not
Yes.
even meant to look like.
No. And it follows her wherever she goes.
That just looks like a
I was more annoyed
camera
by the
filter.
rain falling in front.
That's not good either, because the
it
clouds
was
like it's just like superimposed on the screen. It's not even like try to like
And why all of a
in the
sudden, like,
atmosphere,
her
I don't
vignettes
know.
have just been her like running through the forest. It hasn't been like a storm or
That's
so I don't know.
Weird.
So anyways, she Jensen ends up talking about Fallon Henley's bar having financial issues, so I'm sure this is going back down that. But anyways, no one cares.
Get Grimes to where's he been? Why wasn't he
Grimes?
in
Yeah, that's
Survivor?
right. I feel like he's gone and he'll be on main roster.
But like it's
next
been a
time we see him.
while.
It has. Maybe he'll be one of Bray Wyatt's people. That wouldn't surprise me. That'd be
Yeah,
alright.
maybe.
High spot new women's champion, as we talked about. Pretty good match, not great. Got only 10 minutes. It was just nice to see Rose's, like, I would call it, you would probably call it worse. I said consistently mediocre run. You'd probably say that's generous. But Perez feels like the right choice, right, to end that run. And I think it just happened a bit earlier than they planned. And I'm happy for her. It's a childhood dream of hers, right? And like Booker T was like crying. He was so happy for her, which was cool.
Yeah.
And that is all until Impact. So let me catch my breath. What do you got?
So Rollins beat Lashley. He's number one contender again. Yay.
Yay.
Hopefully he beats Theory again. Yay.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because he's better than Theory. Yay.
He is.
And I like him better as champion because he's better. Yay.
That's true. Sorry,
Hopefully-
I'm yawning, people.
Hopefully they do that on like the Christmas episode. Or that would be a nice present to me.
Good luck.
Like if I got the Elite 99 Seth Rollins with the white and gold kick pads that had the nice sculpt on and the cloth jacket with the
Mhm.
fur on it. So you're taking this hint right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You
Kinda.
getting it?
I'm zoning out a little.
You getting it?
Yeah.
You got it?
Keep going.
And so then Lashley got kayfabe fired after that. So
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
That's
But then
stuff.
rehired. Didn't he?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe not. I thought I saw that too. But I could be wrong.
But Rollins wins, so that's good.
Yep.
Resthold the triple threat tag on SmackDown, which we caught. Just like so boring. A bunch of botches too, like Top Dollar, just oh man. And then Zelina Vega kind of botched a moonsault too.
And then Top Dollar and like B-Fab are trying to act like Top Dollar did something amazing.
He
Like we
did
all
anything
didn't
but-
watch him just completely miss this whatever it was supposed to be. And like
he almost killed himself.
catch himself on the ropes, land on the apron, and then
Like,
act
hit his
like you
neck
did
off.
exactly what you planned. It was funny.
It was so
And then
bad.
Vega, yeah, it looked like she almost murdered whoever it was she came down on.
Valhalla.
Right. That was good.
And then Unknown, I don't even know what to call it because it was just kind of interesting, but Uncle Howdy appeared on SmackDown in person, so it's
Oh.
not Bray Wyatt.
Do we know who? Do we
No, he's
don't
got
know
like
who it
that
is?
weird prosthetic mask or whatever. Like
What
you know,
about
like
the
one-
size of him? Did he look?
I can't tell. I still would like to bet on Bo Dallas,
Yeah.
but that's just I don't actually.
That was the earring exposed, right? That
yeah, I don't
was
actually.
the evidence.
I don't know, but I
Yeah.
would like for it to be Bo Dallas or something like that, or maybe it's like just to make it seem like it's real, but Bray's just full of crap, you know, because he's
Could be.
loopy.
He's deceptive.
He's pretty loopy.
All right, I did watch Impact, so I'll talk about that. You're done, right? I think.
Yeah,
Um,
you're done.
the opener was decent, and so that's what I'm saying. It's barely a high spot, probably, but no matches really stood out this week after like that fantastic hour-long match last week. But Delirious and Eddie Edwards had a solid TV match, I thought, to start the show. Edwards then shook hands with Delirious after the match, but attacked him and hit his diehard driver. And Yui Uemura came out. I guess he's been tagging with Delirious recently, so decent match. Eddie Edwards won with. It wasn't the. Didn't you see that? You were watching.
So what?
Eddie Edwards won with. It wasn't the Boston Knee Party, right? It was. Remember, because I said, "Oh, that's better
It
than
was
the Knee
the
Party."
something
Was
driver.
It was the diehard driver, I guess.
That's the name.
Yeah. All right. Resthold, as you would, I think, agree. I'm clever. I put the weekly brackets over and then unbracket dose of Bully, Ray, and Dreamer because you got to see it, right? So
It was
Bully Ray
beautiful.
squashed John Skyler, which bugs me because they're burying a new guy that I think is decent. Anyways, he's forming a tag team with the other guy that gets
Jason Hodge.
right. That was on this show too.
Nailed it.
So then Dreamer comes out and confronts Dreamer because Dreamer was the one that had vouched for
You
Bully
say
Ray.
Dreamer comes out and confronts Dreamer.
I did say that. Dreamer comes out and confronts Bully Ray because Dreamer was the one saying, "Oh no, you can trust Bully Ray because anyone cares." Bully then mocks Dreamer, admits that he was the one that took out Austin weeks ago, which I forgot about completely because that was the big thing that started this. Like, was it him or was it not? It was.
Okay.
Dreamer basically is crying. Bully mocks him some more. Dreamer wants to fight Bully Ray. Bully Ray leaves. And you all know how I feel about this. I don't understand how this is taking up time and real estate from anyone else, but it is. Any thoughts? You loved it?
It was so long, and then
It is, and it's every
I thought
week.
it ended when Dreamer left, and then he comes and he's like crying. I was just like,
Every week they get a ton
I
of
was
time.
just lame. Who
Anyways.
cares?
Um,
This isn't Bubba and ECW.
Right. High spot for me was Kenny King, which is surprising. He has words for Mike Bailey backstage. So this was actually after last week's epic match against Alexander for Bailey. And he's like backstage and people are chanting for him and congratulating him. And Kenny King is one of them. And of course, they're a bit skeptical because they've got a bit of a feud going. And King says that despite his personal issues with Bailey, he can still respect a great match. And that if you're a fan of wrestling, then you have to basically give him credit for that match. So Bailey kind of approaches King, and King spits water in his face and leaves as Speedball's like, you can see him sort of struggling to keep his composure. Then it flash forwards to a current interview, and Gia has Bailey there, and Bailey says that he knows what King is doing and that he can have a match if he wants, but he's not going to play Kenny's games because Kenny's just trying to his theory is that Bailey's not this zen and
Right.
not this cool, right? So I think this whole like I'm gonna annoy you and try and get you to snap, much like we were saying with FTR and the Guns, right? Same
Right.
idea.
Yeah.
So he knows Bailey can wrestle. He just wants to prove that he's not this zen character that he presents himself to be. And so I haven't cared about Kenny King in a long time, and I actually like this. So this must be something effective. High spot. Again, kind of close to not being one. I was kind of grasping at straws. Sammy Callahan, Alan Angels. I don't know if you saw it, but they had a decent little TV match. And
Better than Khan.
Sammy won clean with this cactus driver. Yes, definitely. And then Khan attacked Callahan after the match and was holding him for Angels to hit a spin kick. So far, like the design are feeling a bit too similar to Violent by Design, right? Like they do that whole talking tough and then don't really win that often. So
hey, Khan won.
Khan did win, but I don't think that's going to be a regular occurrence. And I guess this is leading us to Dean or Callahan because they're sort of gatekeeping getting to the new leader, right? But Diener needs to win that, man, I think, right? Because they need to give...
kinda, right?
This is already a faction of mid-carders at best, so you need to give them a fighting chance and a quality win, so we'll see. Resthold, Dice and Swinger taking on Joe Hendry and...
they still exist.
And Gujar. Yeah, nothing really happened. Swinger and Dice did some comedy stuff that I don't really care about, and then Moose jumped the barricade, and he and Hendry are sort of fighting outside. Gujar ends up spearing Swinger, the gargoyle spear to Swinger for the win. It's one of those as much angle as match, but I'm not really into Hendry. I did enjoy the silly vignettes before he arrived.
That's because those are so like...
They were so bizarre.
Yeah, like that's just like really amusing.
And now it's just kind of like he's not really that interesting, and he's doing the whole I'm a powerhouse guy, which I guess, sure, like you're a medium-sized WWE guy, you know what I mean? But
yeah, like
yeah,
a Cardona kind of thing.
He's not entertaining me, to be honest. High spot, Macklin had a quick little promo. He's basically tired of beating former champions but getting no title shots. It's that standard heel like, I'm tired of being overlooked, so I'm going to do what it takes to get noticed sort of thing. And I just think like he's believable, man. He's got really good intensity, and I think, again, he's a guy I would focus on. And then a rest hold was the main event. They took the titles off Heath and Rhino, which I support that decision. Motor City Machine Guns won. But I didn't really get into the match.
Aussie Open should have been double champs.
Agree. Machine Guns, again, were working like heels, and I'm not sure when that happened. If I missed something, that's been a couple weeks where it's just suddenly in matches they're working heel. And I just think Impact maybe realized that Heath and Rhino aren't interesting or connecting with anybody, right?
I didn't mind their whole shtick when Heath went undrafted in WWE, and that was kind of fun for a while, but that was like 6 years ago.
So I want face Machine Guns taking on heel Bay and Austin would be where I would go. But anyways, that wraps up High Spots and Rest Holds. The only other thing I'll mention is we tied officially for our deadline predictions. And so because you picked New Day, I picked Isla Dawn, and then we picked the same the rest of the way down. So we tied. Good job.
I'm going to look up results for
Ring of Honor. You're going to spoil me right here, right now?
Well, might as well.
All right. Go ahead. I'll take it. I'll allow it.
Okay, so
review our picks.
I'll go off of the matches that we actually predicted because some of them got added last
minute.
minute.
Just what we predicted.
So, where's your pencil?
Right here. My tiny pencil.
There's not enough room on here anymore. Damn it.
Just make a small spot. What do you need? This is going to put us over 2 hours. This very conversation right now. And it's like almost 8:30, man. I guess still got to publish this sucker.
Okay, so
good thing I don't do much editing.
Okay, wait.
One take we are.
So we both picked the Jazz guys on the free show, so that's... And then I got a reference here. Alrighty. And then Willow ones that I'm pretty sure we both picked that because I don't know what Trish Adora really does. So 2-2. Then Top Flight, they beat Kingdom, so that's neither of us picked that.
Right.
That's even. Both of us picked Martinez. She didn't win, so that doesn't matter. So that keeps it 2-2. Then Shane Taylor Promotions versus. So Swerve and Our Glory won. Wait, what? Wait, so Swerve. Oh, so Swerve ditched Lee. Lee still won.
Okay.
I guess that's what happened. That's weird.
Did we pick that?
No, wait. Yes, we did. Okay, so 3-3. I'm just interested because like I said, I was kind of unclear on what happened with the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. Then let's see. So we both picked Embassy, right? So that's
say so.
4-4. I don't know. That's what the sheet says. Then Yuta Garcia, I picked that.
Yeah, you did.
So
You're up 1.
me 5-4. Then FTR Briscoes, we both picked FTR. They lost, so that sucks.
You're still up 1. Keep going.
I'm still up 1. Joe, Juice. I'm pretty sure we both picked Joe because
Yes.
Juice.
Pretty
Even
sure we did.
Juice is kind of cool.
So you're still up 1.
6-5. And then last one, Jericho Claudio. I picked that, so I win by 2.
Nice.
Ha! Finally,
Congratulations.
I win.
A
Yeah.
tie and a win.
I
You
mean,
went undefeated.
There was a pre-show match, which was Jeff Cobb and FK, Grand Malik, I think Masquerita Dorado or whatever, which is really cool. And then also on the main card, they had Roosh and his brother, not Dragon Lee, which is Dre Listico, versus what was it, Blake Christian, AR Fox. So
Right.
That's kind of cool. So
Yep, it was fun.
LFI, not LFI. I don't know.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Good job. We did it. We're done.
Yes.
This will be up before 9 o'clock, hopefully. So thanks for joining us. If you did spend any time listening to us listening to us talk about watching wrestling, we do
There we
appreciate
go.
it. Yeah, nailed it. Got it in 1. And we will be back here for episode 127 next week. And I don't have anything to add to you.
No, sir.
So until we see you next week, everybody, take care.